Welcome to the SLTP, aka the Secret Lorcana Testing Podcast. It has been a while, not only for the podcast, but also for me. My name is Dylan Edge Edgar, and of course, as I say this, I turn and I see my baby starting to stir a little bit, but that's okay. I'm hoping that she stays asleep. We have a crew today. We've got Shadox, we got Haymaker, we got Vegas, we got R2, we got Fumbles. Who we don't have is the 8 SLTC members that are at Worlds. Because holy moly, of the 28 people, we've got 8 at Worlds, and I'm super, super excited for all of them. I am very excited to watch. I'm very excited and hopeful that they do well. But also, I'm just excited to watch Worlds play. But I'm more excited about being here with everybody else. How's everyone doing tonight?
Great.
I'm fantastic.
Okay. So, we have, obviously, this is the night before, well, I guess not the night before
Like
Worlds
media
starts.
day and stuff like that,
Yeah,
right?
like there'll be some Worlds items that start tomorrow. So we're recording this on the evening of the 26th. There'll be some media day tomorrow. Maybe some deck lists get published for people to see tomorrow. We don't know. We do know that the deck lists were supposed to be submitted. Was it 2.5 hours ago, or was it longer than that?
No, it's like 4 hours ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we know the deck lists have been submitted. But before we get into Worlds, we're going to talk a little bit about last weekend because we had some tournaments go on and we had some people do well at those tournaments. But the primary reason for this podcast is to mostly discuss Worlds. So we'll get into the competitors, we'll get into what we think the meta is going to look like, we'll get into who we have for predictions. I don't know, all kinds of stuff.
What, do we have someone on that did well last weekend?
I think we might.
We might?
We got a couple.
I think we have a couple. Who do we want to start with? I think Canada's better, so I'm going to start with Haymaker.
Yeah, we got there. Well, almost there.
What was
Came
the event you
second
played
at
in?
The Glass City 5K.
Where was
in
it?
Toledo, Ohio.
Oh, it wasn't even in Canada.
No, it was in Toledo. It was funny.
We could give Canada Toledo.
Well, no,
That's
hold on. I
fine.
thought there was like a ton of Toronto people there, wasn't there?
Yep.
Yeah,
There
it
were.
is- It's not a
There
far
was a
drive.
handful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Toledo,
we
Toledo,
got that.
hold on. Toledo,
Wait.
Ohio?
Yeah, it's not.
Wait,
it wasn't very far at all from us. So it was funny. Like right before that tournament was announced,
No, it's only a 4.5
Shadox
hour
was
drive.
asking like how far would you guys be willing to drive to like a 5K or something? I'm like, like 5 hours. And then like the tournament was announced like the next week. He's like, all right, bet, like let's go.
Yep.
Well, now you
Technically
have
under
to go.
5 hours. Yep.
So who was in your
Ohio
car?
is only 4.5 hours away from Toronto. That is wild. Okay,
Yeah, nah, Ohio is a tall state, so like
Apparently.
southern Ohio can be pretty far, but
Yeah.
northern Ohio is not too far.
Yeah, because Toledo's right on the border, for those who don't know, just south of Detroit, so it's not a...
How far
Yeah,
is Toledo
too far.
from like Cincinnati? Like 4 hours? Hold on. Toledo to
Wait,
Cincinnati.
I love how you're learning about the states live right now.
If
3
Cincinnati's
hours.
southern Ohio, then yeah, it's probably pretty far because it's
Yeah,
like
3 hours.
yeah.
Matt, so who was in your car who drove down with you?
So Dale was driving. He was able last minute to make it, which was
What, was
awesome
he driving
because I
like
was
the
going to be the one.
Maserati or something down?
I was going to be the one. Yeah, he's got a nice Infinity, which was a lot more comfortable than cramming 5 guys in my Sentra. So it was nice to have him on the wheel. And so I was in there riding shotgun. We had Shotax and Diego, level 9001, in the pilot's chairs, and then in the back we had the Bearsy brothers. So they're locals of ours. Mr. Enchanted YouTube is one of the guys' tags. He's the one who
the
made
Green
that
Steel Chromicon guy.
the Chromicon deck.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then his brother who plays sometimes a variety of decks, but is often on green purple, and they actually both did quite well. So Steve, who was playing the green purple, came in the top 8, and Derek made top 16 with his Chrome Cow deck. So that was pretty sweet.
That's pretty cool.
And
So
then
how many in your
Dale-
car made top 16 then? 3?
3 of us, and Dale
Holy
and
shit.
Diego both lost their win-ins in the last round. Diego actually played Derek, and so Derek knocked him out, which was kind of funny because Diego was playing a couple of the 1-drop Clarabelles, just for items.
Oh my god.
And so he was popping the Comic-Con. We were all like the day before, like, oh, he's teching for you, Derek. And then they played the winning in, but Derek managed to take it.
Josh, how'd you do?
Not good.
So, and
Not
then
good at all. It was not my day.
Sad.
yeah, it was a sweaty tournament. Literally, because it
I was
was
just gonna say,
hot as
like,
hell
heat-wise?
in Toledo.
Because you guys
Yeah.
weren't the only ones there. We also had Bobby McHugh and Melissa and Ben, so Lizard Kitty and Fishman.
Manfish.
Manfish were
Sorry.
also
Manfish.
there. Yeah, sorry. I'm coming off an illness. I'm going to say some silly things. They were there, and we were just getting reports from everybody how hot it was.
Oh my
I got
god.
some pictures of the Toledo game room, I think it was called, and that was like all glass on one side. So yeah, it's.
I mean, they don't call it Glass
bacon.
City for nothing.
I think it was like
dog.
an
Come
old
on.
school. It was an old like elementary
Oh,
school.
really?
That
That's
makes
pretty
sense.
cool.
That looks like a cafeteria or something.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I like just quickly put into Google Maps. I was like, should I have gone to this tournament? 22-hour drive. No.
Yeah, you're
I was
a
not
little,
going.
You're a little far away in the Canada land.
God damn
Yeah,
it. I
just
hate
because
where
it's
I am.
close to Canada doesn't mean it's close to Saskatchewan.
I hate where I live so much. I'm so far away from fucking everything.
Maybe next time, bud.
So yeah, so by the end of round one, we were sweating through our shirt and just trying to hold it together. But it was a lot of fun. It started at noon, which was interesting. But that was actually one of the reasons that I had planned to go in the first place, because at the time there was a lot of people who felt they weren't going to be able to go, and I was like, I can just wake up in the morning and drive, like if it's starting at
Right.
noon, and that way if I scrub out, I can just drive home, and if I do well, then I can pay for a hotel for a night. But didn't have to do that. We were able to go early. Everyone was able to get the day off work and go down early so we could kind of hang out. We were supposed to help Diego test for Worlds, at least the super sealed stuff. Like he brought like a case of all the packs, but
Holy
as soon as
shit.
we got to Toledo, he wanted to hit the casino. So
Oh
we,
my
threw
god.
that in the Diego's one of the boys, man. We had a good time.
Dude, Diego is one
Oh,
of the boys.
He's
for
a fucking
sure.
DJ. That's so funny.
He's
Oh.
a gem. We had a good trip.
Dude,
Yeah,
he's gambling
so-
this weekend now, not doing super sealed practice.
Well, I know he'd done a ton of
No, he
practice,
did it with
and
Lux,
obviously he's got
yeah.
a team that he's working with and everything. So
Is Diego
Yeah,
typically a
but,
pretty quiet guy? He's one of the few, like, from your Toronto crew that I think I've interacted with him the least. And I can't
I'd
tell
say
if it's
so.
because he feels bad for knocking me out of Toronto or if it's because he's actually quiet.
I'd say, yeah, relatively. I mean, in the car, he was chipping in with the rest of us for sure. But
Nice.
yeah, I think in person he can be a bit more quiet. And he comes from like a digital card game background, right? Like he played
Yeah.
Hearthstone.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I ended up doing well. I came second. Went undefeated until the finals. With my green steel deck, taking out the Beyond the Horizons and just going ready to rumble. Putting
can
in
we-
a couple Plutos,
Yeah, it was a sick run.
couple Zeus, and
You had some
just getting
very
there to
good
fight.
stream matches, by the way. Like I
Yeah.
don't know if I don't know if you've rewatched them yet, but
they're not available.
oh, that's right.
Yeah, they didn't
Oh.
have they didn't bring the VODs up.
All right, so I should have
can't- was it
recorded.
your top? Was it the top 8 or the top 4 that he had that like sick run? One
What
of the
do you-
matches you watched, you played it so well. I can't remember if it was top 8 or top 4.
I think it was the red blue match you're thinking of.
The one
It
that
is the red blue match. Why did you play red
So
blue?
top 8, I played. I can't remember his name now. The kid on red blue, who was good. He was a good player, and he was fast. I think he's the same guy who won the Toronto side event with Blurple, like back before
Okay.
anybody really knew
Yeah.
Blurple. And I played him in round 5 or round 4. I think I played him in round 4. And I 2-0'd him there, and then I played him again in the top 8. And then top 4, I played Jonathan Williams on his red blue items, and had some good plays there. Like I know
I think it was that match that I'm
the
thinking
I'm
of. It
still
was the red-
here on my Diablo to stop his Sisu Vitalosphere from taking it out. Like that was a big play in
Yeah,
that match.
yeah, it was.
And
That is
yeah,
that is the
so-
match I'm thinking of. Is the one against Jonathan Williams.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
Yeah,
if you
so I'm-
did get to watch, all I'll say is that was a clinic, like
Yeah.
master class on how to do green steel. So
Can
it
we
was
talk
really
about-
fun.
It's
Thank
it's
you.
an actual shame that the VODs are not available.
I know
'cause-
the only
The
VOD
meta fight
available
would've
is the finals because it's on Lorgane's channel. So
Yeah.
the only one that's available is me getting my butt whooped.
Can we talk about Beyond the Horizon for a second? Because you didn't play it in Green Steel. And I think everyone in this room got their ass kicked by Beyond the Horizon decks in our initial in-houses. And,
By me,
well, yeah,
I won the
partly,
initial in-house with
Yeah.
partly
Beyond the
by
Horizon.
you. It
Well,
wasn't
one
just
person
you,
on
though.
this call didn't lose to Matt.
Oh,
That's
whatever.
true.
Yeah,
R2
let's go.
did rinse me. That's a good
Like,
It
call.
has nothing to do with the fact that Matt went, I don't know, what, 6 turns without drawing a song? Nothing to do with that.
I told all my locals that Beyond the Horizon was going to terrorize the metagame, and I had multiple people messaging me going, what the hell's going on? We haven't seen it. And I said, we need to wait until after Worlds, because I think there's some like optimized deck lists that may show themselves at Worlds that include Beyond the Horizons. And other than that one weekend where I think it was in the finals, there's a Blurple player whose dad plays. What's his name? At the Southside 5K.
Oh,
Tiago's dad? No.
No.
No,
He was playing Blurple Jafar.
Hayes is the purple
dad.
guy.
His dad, I'm pretty sure, did this disgusting turn where he had double Prince John out and double sang Beyond the Horizon and drew 14 cards. And people were like, oh my god, this card's broken, and then nothing has happened since. So,
Yeah.
anyway, that was a really long-winded way of saying, why the hell didn't you play the card, and let's talk about it.
Yeah, so you can do some pretty crazy things with Beyond the Horizon, and like Dale was still playing it, and others on Green Steel, like a lot of people were still playing it. I know the Green Steel mirror match I played in round 5, he was on it. So it's definitely still a good card. For me, I was just finding that the meta had kind of sped up. More people were playing Amber Steel and were playing it pretty quickly. And I was just, I didn't test a ton, but what I did test on Lorcanito, I kept finding that Beyond the Horizon was underperforming. I was just not getting the same like crushing victories that I was like in the in-house early on in the format. And that I was often like playing a Beyond the Horizon and drawing like 2 like wieners, like a little Diablo and an Ursula that didn't do anything. It was kind of like running out of gas and just not, and then losing my board because I was exerting guys I could just get swung into. So I decided for the Irvin Championship Series, so our buddy Irvin running the cash tournament in Toronto area, to try it without the Beyond the Horizons, and I liked it because I was just getting down and dirty in these matchups and just rumbling. And I'd put in Zeus instead of Beyond the Horizon so I could just shoot some hamsters, and that was working out well. And so I just kept on with it, decided not to change the deck list too much. I dropped another copy of Bruno, so I was actually only playing 2 Brunos in the deck.
Finally, people are
for a
cutting that card
second
down
copy.
from 4.
Yeah, Bruno's
think it's
always
only
been one of my favorite cards in the discard deck, but lately it's the same thing. It was just kind of underperforming. Like I'm like against these fast Steel Song
You gotta
decks,
be
it's too
quicker,
slow.
right, than a 5 cost
Yeah.
hard cast.
I've always-
most of the time.
Against a lot of
Yeah.
these decks, it was just a little bit too slow. And so I went down. It was actually funny in the finals. It was open deck lists, but we didn't have them like on our phones or anything. So in the finals, we just handed each other our decks, and we're going through the decks and being like, "How many of this? How many of this?" And so he's asking all my like tech cards. He's like, "How many of that?" I'm like 2, 2, 2, 2. And he didn't ask me about Bruno at all, right? But I'm like, oh, there's only 2 of them, but he probably thinks there's 4. So that was kind of funny.
Right, because
Matt.
like if I sat across Green Steel, there's no shot I'm thinking that they're on 2. Right, I'm fearing 5 or 5 Brunos, right? Pocket Bruno, right? But I don't know. Yeah. I would assume that's like stock.
I don't play green cards. I've felt that 4 Bruno has always been wrong, but I don't play green cards, so.
It's just it does
Unless
kind of
it's with purple.
everything in the deck, right? Because it's inkable early. It's good when you got a Prince John. It's ditchable to Diablo. It's good, like you can sing it with Beast if you have to. Like it's actually
It's the best
because
turn one
against
ink.
discard, the standard
Yeah.
plan against discard is put everything on the table, so they can't discard it anymore, right? So once it's on the table, if they have no hand, your Prince Johns are kind of lousy. But Bruno's like remove a card, discard a card, so you get to draw with Prince John. Like it is something that, in theory, is like core to the deck. But just again in the testing lately, with everyone trying to get going on the table so fast, I just wanted to have things that were faster on board, and so
And
that's kind of what I played to.
We're also reaching a point. So a few sets ago, it was all right. I can get 50 to 54 cards that are good, and now I got to fill my deck to 60. And I think we finally got to the volume of cards that it's like, there's like 68 cards I want to play in this deck. How do I fit them all? And that's when you can start like tweaking to the meta. So like you're saying, Matt, you were like, okay, well I want more Zeuses. I want other things to fight these fastless. So you can start tweaking and pulling things in. And
yeah, so
it's
basically
good fun.
from the cash tournament in GTA, I just went down one Bruno for one I'm Still Here, for a second I'm Still Here, which was awesome throughout the day. I loved
Mhm.
that card.
The card is so
and that
good.
didn't mess with my song count. And then I went down from 3 Space Pete to 2 in order to go up for the second Tinkerbell, which I was very happy with, especially because my first 2 rounds were one against Chernodogs, Chris Anderson, and then second against Brooms.
I think Tinkerbell's really good in the meta right now.
Yeah, so that was great there. The Brooms guy especially, I remember just cleaning up his board with the Tinkerbell.
That makes sense.
So yeah, so loved the deck. It was fun being on stream because what they did is they just streamed table 1 the whole time. There was no table 1 seat. Table 1 seat was at the stream table, and so I ended up making it there round 6. And then they did. Then when we ID'd the last 2 rounds, they did pull the other tables. But then top cut, they just went to table 1, and I was first seed, so I got to be there as long as I didn't lose.
That's why you were on the stream with all those games. Gotcha.
So I was there until 2 a.m. when we finally finished.
Great to see the homies on the stream.
2
And your
a.m.
choice by them to just like do it that way though.
Holy frig!
Yeah, so we
Well, it started at noon.
I
we
guess.
finished our top 8 at midnight, and they're like, "Do you want to split?" And they're like, splitting is more than what second place will win. Like you'd have to come first if you chose to not split and play it out. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go home too, right? Like it's midnight. And but they wanted to play it out for the mats and for the stream, and so I was like, all right,
stream that the VODs don't exist for. Love that.
I know, right? And I beat, but I'm happy because I beat Jonathan Williams, and he 2-0'd me in the Vegas side event on Friday. So I got my revenge there.
There you go.
And slayed the dragon.
I'm happy
So
to beat him for
happy
other
about
reasons,
that.
but that's just me.
All right, and that is cut from the pod. So, speaking of Green Steel, Mr. Vegas, you played a different version of Green Steel, huh?
I did, yeah. I played the BOGO version that our resident Ray came up with.
Raygo.
Yeah, our local store did a double 1K weekend, and I took BOGO to both and got second place in both.
Oh.
The finals were some super close games.
What a choker!
Come on, man.
And
Don't make me bring it up. Don't
some
make me
other
bring it up.
SLTC
33.
people there at those,
Am
right?
I right?
I hate
No,
Nelly.
so the Saturday finals I lost against Sky, and then the Sunday finals I lost against Wonderland.
Oh,
They were all super
That's
close
fine.
games. A couple different draws here or there could have changed it entirely, but I'm overall happy with it.
Was Sky on his Vinny list or the McValue list?
He played both.
Yeah.
Oh, he played both. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
nice. So
I
in the
think when
finals, was the Vinny list?
No, in the finals was the value one
Okay.
with aerials and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I got my revenge on Sunday when he played the Vinny version.
Nice.
But yeah, how
I
did
know I
that
gave
list
you,
feel
I know
for
I gave
you,
you
though?
shit, but finishing second back to back is pretty sick.
That's pretty sick. Yeah.
that's
And
Yeah,
did you make any
consistency.
changes in between the 2 days?
I did, yeah. The first day I just went with like the base list that Ray and I have been using, and then expecting a bunch of amber steel and green steel again the second day. It's normally on 4 beasts, and I went down to 3 beasts, so I could go up to 3 space P, because that card's like fantastic in both of those matchups.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, especially against Amber Steel. Like it's so good against Amber Steel.
Yeah, and that was a great call. That third one came in so well that whole day.
That's good.
That was really the only change I did. I think I would go back to the 4th beast for the next tournament. I think overall
for those
it's just better.
home who don't know about how this deck operates, can you go over some of the important cards in it?
Obviously the number 1 card is Chief Bogo. That's the that's the 4 cost that was printed in set 2.
Mhm.
Anytime you play a Floodborn, it deals 1 damage to everything on your opponent's board.
You could have put a gun to my head. I wouldn't have been able to tell you what set that thing was printed in. So good for you.
Well, I mean, it's easy. Rise of the Floodborn, right? It's based off the Floodborn,
Same
same
set as
with like
Bucky.
Blue Fairy.
Actually,
It's
that
like Steel
makes
Bucky.
sense.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Hmm.
And then you play like there's like I think 20,
Half the deck's
24.
Floodborns.
Yeah, like most of the decks.
Yeah.
Floodborns.
Is that
It's a
what you
pretty good
consider the important part is? Like, I guess it is part of the
No,
combo.
it's all
Bo-
Bogo.
It's part of the
so
combo,
Bo-
right?
The
Yeah.
Wombo
Part of it.
combo.
No,
Yeah.
no.
So
Like, I
the-
understand it's the Wombo combo, but like, I feel like never mind. Keep going.
I'm getting there. So what really unlocked the deck is 7, right? I think is when Herc came out. 7.
Yes.
Yeah,
last
Return to
set.
Herc was last
Last
set.
set. Yeah.
Return of Hercules, the 5 cost action. Both players can reveal a card and play it for free.
Yep.
So in set 4, there's a Prince Philip, 9 cost, evasive 6/6 quest for 3, and it says banish all opposing damaged characters.
Wow, you
So-
got that set right too. Good God, you're a madman.
I just recently tried to figure that one out because I wanted to know if it was rotating.
Oh,
Yeah,
that makes
exactly,
so much
yeah.
So
more
basically,
sense.
what you do is you can turn 4 Bogo, turn
Yep.
5 play Return of Hercules, show your opponent that you're going to reveal Prince Philip. They then get to respond whether they want to or not play a character.
Hint,
If they play a
it's a trap.
character, yeah, don't do it. If
Don't
they
do
play
it.
a character, it will also get banished because of
Yeah.
how you can order the bag triggers.
By the way, I went over this. I think there are cards you could play into the Bogo because, like, say, like Hades or Maleficent Dragon, it
Yeah,
would still
Hades,
banish
Dragon,
the Bogo,
Mufasa.
Train or something, yeah.
or not Bogo, but the Philip, right? Because
Yep.
like the rest of the board you might be able
Yeah.
to deal with, but like 6/6 evasive is pretty tough to deal with. For a lot
Evasive
of
is
decks.
hard to handle, yeah.
Right, but like if you're trying to play Hades off of the Hercules, you're better off just playing it on your turn. Like that way you don't lose
Sure.
your
Like
Hades.
a Maldrag is a better example, right? Because it's probably multiple turns out
Right.
from doing that.
Well, hold on. No,
Oh, yeah.
Hades is
Cogsworth.
7. You can't play the
Cogsworth
next
would
turn.
save
Yeah,
your
but
board.
Hades is blue.
Right,
Yeah,
but
so
you're
they probably
ramping.
ran-
So
Oh, okay.
So they're
You're
probably
probably
okay. Yeah.
Th-
was the
he's
last time
right.
I played?
Rick
Yeah.
is right. There are some situations playing something is correct. Like even if your hand is empty and your last card is a dock, that's
Because you
not
just
that
might
bad.
not have a way to kill that thing,
Yeah.
Or you
right?
play a
what it comes
Diablo,
down to.
Or
Or
purple
Doc.
Diablo just to get a card draw. You're in.
Sure.
Like
you know,
Cogsworth.
whatever. Yeah.
Cogsworth comes out, saves everyone else, dies
Yep,
a hero.
that's also true.
True, yeah.
What homie Cogsworth?
Oh.
Wait, speaking of R2, pull it up. Mr. Dave Solberg tweeting out that I don't know who
Yeah.
needs to hear it, but Cogsworth is unplayable in 2025.
Oh, I love that because like that's such a
So
subtle
good.
jab to people in our Discord. That's like the best part of that tweet so much. It's so funny.
I heavily agree with that, by the way. If I see Cogsworth
Oh,
come
yeah.
down, I feel like I won the game already. So
As a blue steel player for 6 sets, yes, it is not playable right now.
It's crazy how good that card was and how unplayable it
I
is
know.
now.
so Vegas.
The
Speaking
Bogo
of,
deck.
oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just gonna say with the Bogo deck, like underratedly going Bogo into like Floodborn like a beast
Look at
into
Harlan's
Tink.
right underneath
There's
it.
Harlan's response
Oh
right
my
there.
God.
Very, very.
It's so good.
The Tink coming down with the Bogo is just like I gotta imagine one of the ultimate feel good plays. 'cause
Oh,
it just,
yeah.
for
like,
sure.
Or
it
like,
brings you
you
back to
have-
the Tink Sting Swords days
Tink
where you're just
Swords
clearing
days, yeah.
everything.
Yeah, or you
Yeah.
have like a Diablo 1 and you can do like a Shift Diablo and a tank.
Oh, now
Just
we're
do a
cooking.
full,
Yeah,
do a
there
full
are-
3. Yeah, there's some nice.
Ray,
There's some
Ray's
nice
pulled it
lines
off
to
on me for sure.
There's a lot of like intricate lines to
Oh
figure
my
out with the
god!
deck,
Turn
but
4 Bogo, turn 5 Shift, or wait, no, you'd have Shift Tank, right?
Well, no, you might have morph out.
Might have
right?
morph out.
Yeah, you
You
can
can
have
shift
more.
it on 5.
Dude.
But it's
So
Shift
how many
4, right?
people?
Yeah.
but
It's
you can,
cost sort of
on
shift.
5, then you could play tank. Yeah.
Okay, sure, yeah.
How many people tried to challenge into your Prince Philip over the 1K in the end? So actual hesitation.
dude, I lost count. How
That
the amount
many?
of times I had to go. He's
That's
evasive.
evasive.
I mean, I was doing that in our. I don't think it was the official in-house, but some of our testing early on, when like this list became a thing last set. I don't remember who it was, but they were like, "All right, I'm gonna kill them." Like, yeah, you can't.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I've ever told you guys this story. I felt so stupid. So I was in Toronto. I was 4-0, called for a stream match. We played on the side table. I'm so glad this wasn't on camera. He played Jafar. I played Maui to try to challenge his Jafar, and he's like evasive, and I went, "Oh God, no!"
Oh no,
Thank
Dylan.
God, thank God I had a Flynn in play. So like I looked at my hand afterwards and went, "Nah, this is still fine," and I won that game. But God, did I feel stupid.
Yeah.
I'm just playing
Reading
Maui
the
for
card
lore.
explains the card.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
It was a good
And
try.
not to add him, but my brother did it. He was playing Blurple, and I think he played what did he play? Monstro. He played a Monstro. He's like, "I'll take out Prince Philip." I was like, "Oof."
Oof, that's an
Oh.
expensive
Guy.
oof.
Brunio, no.
Sorry,
Oh, and
You're
he
gonna
yeah.
need
don't let him
a
take
Peter
that
Pan
back for
shadow on the
sure.
board in order to do that.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
that's funny.
I don't think I let him take it back.
No, you
I don't
shouldn't.
think I
No,
did.
no.
God, no.
Put him in
No.
the ground,
Put him
dude.
in the ground. Yeah,
Top
so
16 NA Continentals player doesn't know how to challenge properly. You
Weird.
don't
Come
let him take
on,
that
man.
shit back.
It's just a brother thing too, right? If you're
Yeah.
testing at home, you don't let your brother take that back. You say no.
God, no.
Smack
Um,
hand.
But yeah, it's I think the Return of Hercules is what really unlocked it, because
Yeah.
being able to wipe on turn 5 is such a big swing, and
And since it's
often-
an action, there's not a lot of ways to like. I mean, Pete blocks it, right? But you can't
Right.
Ursula it away.
You can't
Yeah.
Ursula it.
Right.
You could ditch it to Diablo. The card is very good.
the number one way to stop it is taking out Bogo on
Okay.
site.
Yeah.
Can I ask this question? And everyone can make fun of me.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
If that action was a song, would it be that bad?
Yes.
Yeah,
well,
I think
I
it,
could
it- I
just-
think it would be worse.
No. Right. I'm saying, would it be like, would it make the card way better if it was a song? I
Well,
think
so-
no.
So I think one thing that comes to my mind, right, is that like Space Pirate Pete would be what you would probably play, and then like if it was a song, right, and
Yeah.
then you would just block your opponent's Hercules with your Space Pirate Pete because now it can't be sung. So like I don't know, it would just be like stupid. It wouldn't like. I don't know. I wouldn't see it be broken. I actually think
'Cause,
it's
like-
better as an action for sure.
like,
I think
here's
it's
the
I think
thing,
it's
right?
better as an action.
The way that the card is worded, like your opponent can do something too. So even if you were to do something like turn 2 morph, turn 3 sad beast shift onto morph, sing Gift of Hercules, put something in play, your opponent also gets to put something in play, and now the character, the 5 cost that you made sing it, is available to be challenged by the thing that they just put in with Gift of Hercules.
Yeah, but now you're like instead of the thing because in that case putting Prince Philip into play is not really that good.
Yeah.
But putting like Clarabelle into play would kind of be redonkulous.
Yeah,
You're
doing
like
it
suddenly
earlier.
you went shift, sing, Clarabelle's in play now. Now I got a 5-drop and a 7-drop Clarabelle.
Yeah.
Like that kind of seems
Yeah.
a bit crazy.
Yeah, doing it earlier means like different lines, right? You wouldn't be going for the Philip stuff. Like you could also like Naveen it, right? Naveen into Clarabelle or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
But that's
interesting.
green yellow.
I got to imagine making it a song makes it better.
I mean,
What,
songs
like,
in general have been pretty
significantly
good.
better?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
I
there's
would
give
just
and
like to
takes,
be able
right?
to discard it with Ursula. So
It was
yeah,
a
make
fun
it a
little
song.
exercise.
Yeah, often if you're able to get the turn 5 Philip clear, you just win the game. I mean, of course, depending on the deck, but it's able to close out the game so quickly afterwards.
Like one of the
I
cards that
Anything
I
that's
think,
not red just can't let that happen.
Yeah,
Right.
like
Yeah.
one of the cards that I think that's in action right now that would be like absolutely disgusting as a song is Everybody's Got a Weakness. That card
Oh,
would
yeah.
be a 4 of in
No, that'd
every
be great.
purple deck. Oh my god.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I
but
think the
anyway.
card's also not that bad, but
No, I think the
it's
card
a
is
lot of
good. I
setup.
think it's extremely underplayed, and I really hope it's played this weekend.
I
But
mean, there's a lot of actions you could say if there were songs, they'd be broken.
I
right?
played
Yeah.
against
Yep,
it
that's
this
true.
Imagine if
weekend.
Fire the Cannons was a song.
Ugh.
I mean, imagine you could play it on your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
okay, no, hold on. That's
You
getting
just
ridiculous.
shock anything.
Oh my god.
Activated my trap card.
Look
All
at this
right.
little.
And we'll shock it.
Do we have
Fire the
do we have
Cannons.
any other events from this past weekend we want to talk about?
Come on, I was
Uh,
enjoying talking about actions that could
No,
be
but
songs.
I had a 1K,
Talking about
but I did
the
well.
Pete did remind me of my top 16 match where I drew all 4 copies of Pete and both copies of Space Pete on the play, and
Oh,
that poor
boy.
Amber Steel player did not get to do anything.
Yeah, they didn't get to do
And,
anything, did they?
The chat, apparently the chat was great. I'm really sad I
You-
don't get
oh
to
my
go
God.
back. And
Yes,
see the
we were.
chat.
Yeah, I
Apparently the
remember that.
chat was losing it, and they were like, "Oops, all Pete's," and like
Yeah.
just going
I was
crazy
like, I
stuff.
hate people who play beats in the chat.
Because I think your opponent was playing some too. I think at some point
No,
they were
yeah,
like,
they were
they were
Peteing
like
each
Yeah,
other.
5 or
his
6 Pete's
opponent
on
was
the board or
matching
something.
Pete's.
Yeah.
But like Matt's Pete's are better Pete's.
Yeah, but apparently there was I think there was a point where I had like all of the Pete's in my deck on the table.
Yep.
And there's
Oh my god, if
so it was a good
Finders
time
Kind
for
of a
me.
great feeling, huh?
Yeah, they were probably
Said
all
that
in
a
a
few times.
cove too. It was good.
So Rick, you were in an event as well?
Yeah, I played Blurple.
and he sucked.
No, I mean I sucked because I lost the finals. But like, if you're not first, you're last.
Okay, hold on. I didn't realize that you also did well this weekend. You were in the finals?
Yeah, I went 6-0 into the finals.
Am I the only one that didn't play a tournament this weekend?
guess so.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yep,
man.
you are.
Yeah, I made a few changes to the list last second from like pretty much stock. It's 2 cards off of JDRR stock. But I added in foxes, I added in goats, because I was looking for more consistency in Blurple. And I was not really I was not sure what I was expecting for the meta. But I have a very heavy Amber Seal meta.
Yeah.
So I was definitely on the risk of bringing Blurple.
That
But
was
I was
the
also
right call to
expecting
play
a lot
Fox.
more red-blue items or red in general. So I was like, I need to add in goat. So goat, fox, and then there was 2 spots pretty much available. So it was either crab, which is what I had, or until Dave PM'd me at midnight that night saying, "Why are we playing crab? Play Gaston." And so I added in the 6-cost uninkable Gaston from Rise of the Floodborn.
And you say crab, you mean Merlin crab,
Merlin
not Tamatoa crab. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Toa 6 was in there.
Toa
Yeah.
6 was in there. I had 2 Monstros, and then pretty much the deck has very few wiggle room spots. So and like
Like
there's
it's basically those
4.
2 slots that are like Anna or crab or
Yeah.
Or
Hypnotic
Gaston.
Strength or
Yeah.
Gaston.
And like Monstro's technically
Elsa.
cuttable, right? Like
No, he's not.
I think he
Yes, he
is
is.
No, he's
because
not. I
Yes,
just
he is.
that card is so good.
If you know what your meta is going to be, you can cut Monstro.
yeah.
I mean, fair.
There
but
are
what is
certain
the
matchups that you want
Monstro's
Big Elsa
for only
instead.
like 2 matchups, man. It's for your Amber Steels and Blue Steels, but like nobody's playing Blue Steel.
I think Monstro is great in the Blurple mirror. I understand there's a lot
you
of
can't hit half the
evasives.
board.
That's
Oh,
not-
you
that's
ha-
not how-
doesn't mean half the board. You
That's
can
not
hit
how
the other
purple
half.
mirror goes.
Yes,
it's
it
about,
is.
No, it's not. It's about controlling the skies.
Yeah,
It's about
Sky's
controlling the board.
superiority.
Period.
No, it's about the skies. Who sees more
Monstro is-
Iagos and Genies and Elsas?
Monstro
So we should
is
play
like
Pan Shadow for
terrible in
our
the
Monstro.
Yeah.
mirror.
People are
True.
doing that. So I did pretty well. I started off pretty hot. So it was 2-0 dingers, 2-0 red blue items, which felt phenomenal. And then I played against Amber or Blue Steel ally list with Wheel, and that took me for a ride that game. But I was able to squeak that out 2-1 because game 1 he just wheeled me into oblivion. And then I met my Amber Steel opponent, but I got to ID. So my Amber Steel Wheel opponent was my ID, and then top cut I played the Blue Steel Wheel guy again. Then I got to play green purple aggro again. So I've two of my opponents, my last 2 opponents in the Swiss rounds were my first 2 opponents in the top cut, which is pretty cool. And then I lost in the finals to a red purple burn list with like super goofs, royal guard, and like sharks, and he had RLS Legacy in it because that's like his tech card.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I think I lost. I was on the play, but I lost that last game because I mulliganed into 2 Hades and a Gaston, so I was playing with a 3-card hand, and then I drew my other 2 Hades within my next 3 draws.
Ah.
So I was like, I made it close. I think the end total was like, it was like 18-18, and like, you know, he just had to not have it. So it was close. Which is Pirates Life, but yeah.
We might
Yeah,
talk a little bit about this in the Worlds part of it, if I were to guess.
We can go there.
I am a strong proponent of the fact that I think if you have very little Amber Steel in your meta, or you know that the strongest players in your meta aren't Amber Steel, or you can ban it, wink wink, future segment, I think Blurple is the best deck in the format right now.
I would argue
Yeah.
Blurple is the best deck in the format, even with Amber Seal running around.
Yeah, I
Right,
agree.
but if you could
I don't
ban
know
it,
if I
it's
agree.
even better.
Well, but not all the Amber Seal players are on wheel, so the Amber Seal matchup's not as bad even at that point.
I agree, it's
as
not
well.
nearly as bad without wheel. Like the aggro versions are easier to deal with than the song versions, but I still think that Amber Steel aggro is probably one of the harder matchups.
I think there's 2 things to think about there, right? The Amber Seal aggro matchup is pretty hard for a lot of decks, but like if you get Bell Pop, you almost win that match no matter player or draw, which is pretty good. And then Amber Steel Wheel for Blurple got better because of Monstro, but
Right.
like realistically, like there's a few pieces that like they're playing like Desperate Plans. Some of them are playing Dock and Wheel. Like they're playing a lot of weird combinations, and if they probably just played like Naveen Wheel stock, like the deck would blow Blurple out of the water. But since they're
The thing
playing
about-
like a lot of junk,
Yeah,
The
the thing about
only thing-
Blurple, the thing about Blurple that you get to do that against Amber Steel aggro is good, and this is something that I learned when I was playing Blurple against Red Blue, is turn 3 Goat against that deck is actually just like great.
it's a
'cause
daisy
it
killer.
kills everything.
Well, it doesn't kill Rhino.
No,
So the best
But-
line, in my opinion, is like you play Genie on 4 because
Sure.
Genie could challenge into Smee, and then you move that damage
oh
to Rhino.
yeah, well that
right? So, like,
that's
kind of
that's why
things.
we're playing for Bell now. Is that like
Yeah,
Bell
I-
is so
Bell's
good
uncovered.
against
Bell
right
is
now.
insane.
yeah,
Bell is so
That's
good in
like-
this meta right now.
Bell's
Secret
been one of my favorite
Uninkable.
cards. Yeah.
So the only thing right now that I think Blurple really has to fear is like RP evasives.
RP evasives is really, really good.
Isn't red blue items horrible?
And red blue items
No.
is generally pretty hard, and unless you are pretty aggro.
Yeah, you
I think
just gotta play
if I
it
was
like
a Blurple
banana
player,
man.
I'd rather play against red blue items than RP evasives.
I just don't want
agree.
to play against red blue items in general, man.
I don't want to play against red blue items either, but I know
annoying, yeah.
that there's more of a chance for me to win that matchup than
I
the
agree.
RP
When I was
evasives.
playing Blurple, the red, like Josh farmed me a couple times playing red purple evasives, and I was like, damn, Josh is so good. But also the matchup just sucks.
Yeah, well, that's what I played this weekend. I went to a small case tournament, got top 4. I played against 2 buddies on Blurple, and they were, grindy matches because I have to get to, ink totals of 9 to start just doing pan shark stuff
Pan
on them.
shark,
But it
yeah.
I never felt scared in any of those matches.
Mhm.
And like Rick also ran into some unink. There were multiple games I had. No joke. I had all 4 preps in my hand by turn 4.
If I were to
But against
have to,
Blurple, I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll just draw.
if
Yep.
I
I
were
just gotta
to have
get to
to,
them
if
and
I
I just
played
kill
it,
'em.
if I had to play a tournament this weekend, like last weekend, I would have been on either Blurple or red purple evasives.
You would have
But
been a
probably
red
Blurple.
purple, man. Just
No,
stick to
dude.
the one trick, dude.
What are you talking about? I haven't played red purple since Continentals, unironically.
Have you played this game since Continental?
Yeah, I've played a couple set champs. I've played mostly purple steel.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got you.
Like-
I got you.
the having a baby really dampered how much
Yeah.
I can actually play Lorcana.
Yeah,
but
it changes things a
Yeah,
little
so
bit.
I
that's
have-
why I don't have baby in my meta right now.
But I have played, and I actually since Continentals have not played. Like I've played games against like you guys with red purple, but I haven't
Yeah.
entered any. Like I haven't shuffled red purple in
Yeah, but
paper.
Rick,
How
it
much
was
do you
our
miss
boy
pa-
Tiago
paper
that
in,
knocked
in
me
your
out.
hand?
What
Oh,
was
dude,
what was
I
Tiago on?
Purple Seal Doc.
Yeah,
That's
that
what he
guy,
normally plays
He
local.
loves it.
Steve,
That's
we
so
played-
consistent, man.
Steve, we played Dice Throne 2 nights ago. A friend of mine brought it over, and he sleeved his cards.
Oh,
I-
baby.
And I just I was like, oh my god. And he's like, what? I'm like, this feels so good in my hand. And he's like, what are you doing? As I was shuffling, he was like, what are you doing to shuffle? And I was like, oh, dude, like, I gotta teach you how to shuffle sleeves. Like, this is just, oh, this feels so good.
It's another feeling, dude.
It was just it was a new high.
Yeah, man, fun weekend, and now we get to have another fun weekend of watching Lorcana instead of playing.
Yeah, let's talk Worlds.
Woo!
Perfect
Worlds, baby.
How
segue.
fun will it be to watch? Let's be honest.
This is
I
That's gonna
hope
be
it's going to be
interesting.
better than I think it's going to be.
I hope so too. Okay, hold on. So let's talk about. There's 28 players.
Mhm.
We are sharing the players on screen. For those of you who have lived under a rock, or who don't know, or who have forgotten, so Worlds is in Orlando this weekend. It starts Saturday. Is it cut to top 8 Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. There is 2 formats going on.
Wait, is it? I thought it was win totals you had
Yeah,
to get
it's
to.
your
Or
win
does,
totals.
Does
Oh.
math make it 8, or
I
does
have no
math
idea.
make
Do
it
you
somewhere
have
else?
the? Can you pull up the other
Yeah,
chart?
The first 8,
Top cuts
right?
8,
The first 8
Yeah.
people who get to 5 wins,
Oh,
and
it's the
if
first 8
nobody
people
has,
who get the 5.
if-
Okay, I just heard the 5
Yeah.
wins thing. Oh,
It's
okay.
and
5.
if there's
Okay.
not 8 people with 5 wins
No.
by the end of round 7, then it goes by tiebreakers.
How
Yep.
So
many?
this is a top
Okay.
8 cut.
So how many rounds are super sealed? 3?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
the first 3.
Low key, gonna watch very little of the first 3 rounds.
I'm so excited, dude. I want to see
I'm
like
gonna watch it.
I
That's
want
the
to see
exciting
Pierre open up like an
That's the
enchanted
exciting
and
round.
not play it. Like,
I don't
just
care
like-
about the enchanted. I want to know the percentage of players who top or who win their first 3 rounds. And I know Frank is going to do the math on this. Like, please God, Frank, help figure this out. If you have Sail into Genie, like how many Genies you have in your deck is going to define how
if
well
you
do
open
in
a
sealed.
genie, I think your percent goes up probably by like 10% of
It's
winning
got
a game.
to. Like, Sail into Genie, Tipo into Genie is going to be so good. Anyway.
Yeah, so it's right here.
Okay, so no intentional draws allowed. Players advance to day 2 when they have reached 5 wins. Once a player advances, they no longer play any remaining Swiss rounds. So there's a chance. These are very good players. It's best of 2 or 3.
3.
That's a 3.
Okay, best of 3. So there is a chance that someone can play 3 rounds of super sealed, 2 rounds of constructed,
And be already in.
and be
and
done.
that's going to happen, I actually think.
Oh yeah, I think
I
that'll
don't-
happen.
I don't think it will.
You don't
Oh.
think it will? I think someone will get a sealed, like a real good pool. And
All right,
just
wait.
kinda go.
Bold predictions. We should we should end this with thinking who's going to be the first 5 wins.
Okay, okay, I'm down for that.
Like,
Okay, anyway.
that doesn't mean the winner.
So,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
players must have all 6 ink types represented in their 3 decks. We'll talk about that in a second. So the super sealed format, it's 4 packs of each set from
Yes,
5
4
to 8.
4 packs of those sets.
Okay, so 4 packs of Shimmering Skies, Azurite Sea, Arcasia's Island, Reign of Jafar, aka the sets that are surviving rotation with Fabled.
Mhm.
It's a 50 card sealed deck, 3 ink restriction, which this is fantastic. And please, for the love of God, Ravensburger, if you're going to do draft, 4 packs, 3 ink color restricted, the format is actually good. Has anyone tried doing that with draft?
You're not going to catch me trying to defend Lorcana Limited right now.
Played 0
Lorcana,
games of this super
Lorcana
sealed
Right now?
sealed is fine.
Whatever.
Lorcana draft is horrible in
This
its
set
current
actually
state.
is pretty fun in terms. No, last set was pretty fun in terms of limited. Like the set felt like, all right, there's not much removal, but you had to play, like there was ways to play around it. Where this set, it's like hyper, like turn him sideways, like, you know.
Yeah, I'm fine, but that's a lot of limited. Like even, I hate Pack Rush because it's literally rush. It's play quest. Like you should not be challenging very much in limited, in all honesty, which is very different to Magic Limited, where it's all about board control.
Right. Well,
But
removals, you know, top notch.
Yeah, bread, bombs, removal, evasive, aggro, duds.
All right, and then once the 3 rounds of super sealed, then we go to the main meat.
Which is the part that I'm the most excited for, but I am worried that I'm excited more for it going into Worlds than I am watching it. I hope that's not the case, but so for those of you that don't know, it's 3 deck constructed. For any of you that have played Hearthstone, it's similar to Conquest.
Yep, Conquest.
Conquest,
Yep,
yeah.
that's a Hearthstone version.
Where you have to win with each deck. And so essentially what's going to happen is up until, is it the finals or top 8? When does it become best of 5? Finals.
It's only finals, yeah.
So it's best of 3. Each player can ban one deck, and it's open deck list. So when the deck gets banned, you can no longer play it. And so what ends up happening is each player then has to, like, you have 2 colors essentially that are banned, and then you have to play the other 4, and you have to win with both. So as an example, let's use a default lineup, and this is the lineup that Steve, Rick, and I played, because funnily enough, this format is very similar to, there's a
The 3v3.
3-player format, like 3v3, where you have to represent each deck. We played it when we went to Continentals. Our lineup was Amber, Steel, Red, Blue, Green, Purple. That is, if I were to
The
guess,
most obvious.
is the most obvious it's the almost obvious, like, triple deck. All 3 decks are good. All 3 decks have, like, strong decks in the meta. Like, that is, if I were to say level 0, that is level 0. Is Red, Blue items right now, probably?
Oh, well,
And then Amber, Steel, aggro, and then Green, Purple,
we've
either
had this
tempo or discard.
internal debate, by the way. I think me and Dave both agree that Red Blue Shark is as good in the meta right now as the other decks.
And it,
But-
like, the nice part about the Red Blue Shark is you can kind of play it like an aggro deck, and then you just play Red Blue Shark, Amber Steel aggro, Green Purple aggro, and you try to target the same deck. Which,
Yeah,
for those
I
of you who
think-
have never played Conquest, like, that is a legitimate, like, you can build all 3 of your decks to say, I am going to beat that. And the
Yeah.
general consensus is that the red decks can be targeted by aggro, so you play 3 aggro decks to target the red deck.
Well, you could as a red blue player, you could take items or shark depending on what you want to be banning.
Yeah.
Right. So you can maybe make a calculated decision, like, kind of like how Ed has done in his runs of, like, I'm going to make this meta call and I'm going to build my deck this way. You could build your lineup in such a way that you can hamstring people on what they're playing or something.
Yeah. And it is open
And-
deck list, and the deck lists have been submitted yesterday. So there's a secret hope that some of the deck lists are going to get provided tomorrow. Like, I know they're provided to the players tomorrow, but I don't know if the public is going to see them tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't see any reason for Ravensburger to give us that information other than we
If
would like
anything, I
it.
feel like we might see their colors, right? Like, if they were to put out, like, a post, like, saying, like, you might be, like, Ed, like, champion pose with, like, his colors underneath, but, like, I don't think we would see, like, deck lists.
I think
Yeah,
there's
but
a legitimate
maybe.
chance that, I think there's an equal chance that Ravensburger provides the lists, that a link gets sent to the players and it gets leaked.
I more
see
think
any
that
reason for
second thing
them.
is what will happen.
Yeah, I agree,
Oh,
Matt. I don't see any reason
Like,
for it.
why would they give? I don't see any reason for them to give the players the deck list tomorrow. That
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense to me. Like, give it to them when the round starts.
So we
When
heard
constructed
this,
start.
and one of the world's competitors posted in a Discord chat, not ours specifically, but saying that deck lists are supposed to be given to them tomorrow. So it's possible.
But I just think that's whack. Like, what do you like? I don't know.
So-
Why should you get
Lines,
to start
right.
Okay.
practicing
I mean, I
against
guess
my
you
lineup
can then look
before
at
the
everybody and
tournament's
you
even
can
started?
you can plan who you're gonna
Yeah, I mean,
ban.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think,
but-
Counter-
I think there's a lot of
That's the thing. I
information.
don't think you should get to do.
You don't think
You
we
don't-
should get to? I
Okay,
agree with that.
hold
That's
on.
my take.
Hold on. So
Players
counter.
should
So
look at each
counterpoint.
other's decks at the same time, and that's the start of round 4.
So
Here's the
counterpoint.
deck.
I agree, and to a point, but when it comes to, like, top 64 as an example, we were always given deck lists the day before. Not like, okay, you sat down, you're across from your opponent, here's what they're playing.
The reason that makes more sense is because there's already been tournament play and streaming, and somebody who is on stream would be at a disadvantage because their deck is out.
Okay,
In
fair.
this case, nobody's seen any decks. Nothing is out. Assuming that Ravensburger doesn't accidentally leak decks to someone else, like, everyone would be on the same playing field starting from tournament drop. Like, it doesn't make sense to me that you can prepare for my lineup before
Yeah.
the tournament is even started.
The
Well,
other
I-
thing that it
Go
could
ahead.
help do, though, is drum up interest in the event, especially if someone's playing something that, like, holy crap,
Counterpoint
this
to
is a
that
new
though,
deck.
they're not really drumming up much interest for the event anyways. So why is it like that? This tidbit would be the
So
push.
I mean, we want to see it. Like, we obviously
Well, yeah, we wanna
would
see it,
love
yes.
to see it,
Yes,
right?
we want to
But
see it.
I think
I
like
don't. If I was a competitor, I'd be like,
All I
want
care
to
about-
see what I've. And it creates a further advantage to like teams, right? Like world class card people or something like that who have like a whole squad of friends that can just be like, all right, we're gonna start playing everyone's lineups and try to figure out the decks and the lineups and whatnot. Like, I don't know, make the players figure it out on the fly. Like, you're making them figure it out on the fly.
I would like to
with
map
Super
out my
Fuel.
like path though.
I can
like,
get on board
Like
that.
you know, I see DKP across from me. I know I'm going that route. Like if I see Wonderland, I'm going that route. I personally would like the more prep for myself because like I wouldn't want to put mental thought into what I should ban day of. I want to think of it the day before. But that's
I think that if you're a Worlds player, you've been probably in the tank for a while, right?
Sure.
On trying to unlock the format, figure it out.
We know
I
that
think
for a
it'll be
fact.
really interesting for us as
Viewers.
viewers for them not to get the list tomorrow.
Oh, for sure. Like, oh, what is that? Like, they read a card on World Stream. Like, that'd be so funny.
Yeah.
Sure, how much followers do.
It would.
So that guy has
alright.
evasive. Okay,
Right.
blows up my board, but he also has evasive. Gotta remember.
Does that new Donald Duck do?
The 8 cost.
The whatever one is in the OTK.
Oh, the one
Yeah,
that makes
the
everyone
OTK.
draw.
Oh,
Right.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like that's like a really good example, right? Because I mean, I'm sure the vast majority of the players there have considered the OTK as part of the lineup.
Almost definitely.
But
Dude, if
if
we
there's
see an
anybody who
OTK,
hasn't, like, they shouldn't get to like know about it
I would
a day
nut.
in advance.
I would.
I think
nut.
that's fair. Like, I can get on board that line
That'd
of
be
thought.
so sick, dude.
All right, over under
I'm
on there
just-
being at least one OTK deck.
Oh,
Oh,
for
over.
sure.
I'm
There's
taking
gonna
the
be
over.
I'm
Take
taking
the
the
over.
over
I'll
on
take the
one.
over.
What are we setting
The
that
over
at?
0.5.
You want to do it at like 2.5?
No, I would still take.
2.5's tough. 1.5? Can we do a 1.5?
No, because I'm taking the over on 1.5. 2.5 is like tricky.
Right, so I think 2.5 is the correct amount then.
All right,
Go with the
fine.
over or
fine,
under?
Okay,
fine.
2.5.
Under.
You know, I'll take the over because I'll maybe one team has thought.
Yeah,
"Ooh,
that's true. There could be
we
like
figured it out.
world class cards could maybe
Yeah.
say like, and that's also an
I
interesting.
either
don't
or
see
or
world
it's
class
zero.
cards having their players play the same 3 decks.
Okay, then that's what I was just about to bring
Yeah.
up. So we have 2 Maelstrom players.
Yep.
Mhm.
Is it 2 world class? No, 3 world class cards
Three
players.
now.
3 now because Carson just was announced, but
Yep.
he's probably been doing stuff for them for a bit. Are any of the Europeans on a team together that I
Not
don't
that
know
I
about?
know of.
Not
God,
that I know
no.
of. Can you bring back up the
Yeah,
players?
players.
Did you
player
say
list.
God no?
I said, God knows. Who knows?
Oh, God knows. I
I'm
think you
not
said
that
God
mean.
no.
Diego.
I was
well,
like, do you know
Diego's
what's a
not
beef
playing
that I
with
don't
his
know about?
team, so
Okay, so hold on. So
Hold on,
Bivens
sorry, I'm
has
trying
if we
to
his
get
look,
own.
to
if
look
we
nice
look at
again.
NA,
Okay, there we go.
I don't know if
'Cause,
Patrick
like-
would have been practicing with Sailor at all.
no. To my knowledge, they did do a super seal together.
Yeah.
They did
Mhm.
play some games against each other, but for the most part, like their prep was separate.
Okay, so
Like,
did
so-
Zan
So
prep
Zan
with any?
left.
Yeah.
Well, Zan left WCC. So,
Scott
Mo
will be on his
Shamblin's like
own.
a wild person. Scott's on his own.
Ed will
Bivens
be on his own.
is known for practicing on his own.
Yeah.
Hamza has his like local crew that he does stuff with.
Oh, Hamza
Kind of
and
WCC
Diego are on the same
adjacent.
team.
Hamza
Yeah.
on
Oh,
Lux.
right.
Both on Lux.
Hamza and Diego
Yeah.
on Lux. Yeah.
Oh yes.
And
No
that's
chance.
weird, like, I
those
don't
two
know
have
how
the same
much-
decks, by the way.
No, they
no
don't.
I
chance.
agree.
No chance.
You don't think so?
No.
What?
No.
Wait, what? Sorry.
Hamza's got. Do you think Hamza's got 3 72 card decks?
Oh,
Oh my
so,
god.
well, I think there's a world where Hamza turns to Diego and says,
What are aggro decks?
what should I bring as a lineup? And Diego says, do this, and then Hamza brings the exact 180. I could see that being a world.
All right.
That's a weird world.
Hamza's got 3 72 card lists. I'm officially cheering for him. That
Who do we think?
Legendary.
So, looking at this list, who do you think's bringing the weirdest decks?
The
My gut
weirdest
says
Josh
decks?
Paltry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Only because he's done it already and won with it, right?
Yeah.
I
Like,
want to also
he's
say
proven
Theo
he can
Time
bring a
as
weird
well.
list and do well.
The Theotime's pretty spicy too.
Theo
Yeah,
Time's
Theo Time's
pretty
got some
spicy.
spice.
Yeah.
I mean, do you count Karsten's like random sprinkling of things
No.
as spicy? Then
Especially
can't
not
be
on.
him.
No, I don't.
I've
I'm-
heard some things, so I'm not gonna
Okay.
answer
Gotcha.
that
I think
question.
I want to know what. So I think there's some really interesting points that these players can do. So a player like Kurt, I think, is potentially aimed to win the whole thing because Kurt's won on so many different decks at so many different events.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at someone like DKP, who's known for one deck.
What?
What
Hold on.
is he gonna do then? Does DKP bring a red blue shark and then bring what's an OP deck right now? Like an
Yeah,
amber
so that's
steel
a-
fast
Steel.
deck, and then you say, okay, which do you want to ban? Do you want to ban the current meta favorite or what I'm really good at?
I
Or
mean
the
this
one
with
he
no
posted ranked
disrespect.
one.
I mean this with no disrespect to Kurt because I love him. What has he done well with other than Amber Steel?
His Chicago one was red purple,
Oh right, frig! I forgot about that.
He
yeah,
did well with the
yeah.
green steel
and he's
list.
done
This
really good
one.
with Churn of Dogs.
No,
Turn it up, yep.
yeah, I forgot that Kurt was on red. Kurt was actually one of the people that I was watching play red purple before I knew him on SLTC. I forgot about that.
Kurt's like in my top 5 of like dodge that person for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So like if we go down real quick, outside of like LCCC stuff, seeing these players like Bivens, what does Bivens play?
Purple
Steel
steel.
X decks.
Yeah, Steel X.
Yeah.
The only thing you've seen Bivens play that's not steel is a little bit of Kita
Aggro.
Under the Sea green yellow.
Or that.
Sailor. It hasn't been until the Worlds format has come out has he really played. I mean, he was a Steel Song player way back in the day, but he's been on red blue for a long time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He did do well in a
In a,
in
Quebec
a cash
with-
tournament in Montreal with,
and
yeah,
with
with
green
that's
green
my
steel.
point. That's
And by
Worlds
do well, I
news.
mean he won.
So he's won a green steel tournament and he played, and he's had a pet deck that I won't name
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
That he's been working on too. Again, Hamza, we know he's been on the same thing. I mean, the Rat was very much. Oh, so Brian, the Rat, was known for
green
he
steel.
was terrorizing with green steel. Now he's a grinder, and was big in Hearthstone, which had a conquest format too. So I have faith that as a one trick, to our eyes, he's going to be safe.
I think
But I'm worried
he's-
about people like Hamza and like DKP.
I mean, Brian also brought Amber Steel to Continentals, I believe.
Oh, is that what he played in
Is
Continent?
that what he played? I don't know. He
Yeah.
played one round and left.
So
Yeah.
he did technically play 2, I believe, right? But either way, Brian is the kind of person, and similar to maybe Frank, who are going to play the best deck in the format normally in an event, right? So that's why he brought green steel. That's why he brought green yellow to Toronto, right? So like they're going to bring the. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, if you can finish.
I
Sorry.
was just gonna say, like, so yeah, I would think Grinder's the best description for him, because I believe him and Carson and those people who have been probably playing card games forever are just gonna try to figure out what the best 3 decks are and just play them anyway. Like,
Yeah.
I think I don't know what Brian's playing. I haven't talked to him so I can feel free to speculate. I think that he is absolutely someone who would try to target one color.
Mhm.
And if I had to pick one person from this list, I would bring 3 aggro decks to target
It's
red.
the Rat.
It would be Brian.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I think
And
I think
like-
Paltry,
I think Paltry,
is easy.
yeah.
Is easy triple aggro.
No, I'm
agree.
So-
with Matt. Like the number one player on my list that would like game the Conquest format properly is the Rat, and that's because of the Hearthstone
Oh.
background.
Sure. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And
but I
even
think also
even in
Paltry's
set,
bringing triple aggro.
So
Even
Paltry
in
did
set
not play
2
an aggro list at SCGs, but it's been a month now. So
when everyone was playing red purple in set 2, Brian was playing red purple aggro. Like he was
Yep.
playing Arthur
Yeah.
and was just trying to and LeFou was just trying to aggro everyone out, right?
Yep.
So I could absolutely see him just saying, yeah, I'm just sending 3 aggro and I'm gonna beat all the red decks. And
we-
just I don't have to think
So-
too much. Like I could see that being his approach.
Do we have anything else to talk about the players, or can we start talking decks?
I'm down with
Um,
decks.
We can talk decks, and I want to kick it off. I have a topic I want us to stew on.
Okay, hold
Okay.
on, Steve. You were gonna say something before I interrupted you.
It will have to do with the deck, so
Okay, cool.
I can
Okay.
just put it in there.
So a long-standing difference between the North American and the European scene has been what?
Green, steel, green, purple.
Green
Discard
steel,
in
green
general,
purple.
but yeah.
Well, they still like discard.
They still like green, yellow.
And green purple. Like they like their discard list, but for whatever reason, Europe has. I'm not saying North America was right or they were right, but
North America was right.
But Europe has shown a proclivity to not do green steel discard.
I have a funny theory if you let me have it.
I wonder if that will hamstring them in this format.
I have a funny theory about green steel if you let me have it, just for like 30 seconds. And everyone's going to laugh when I say this. So, yes, we have American players in SLTC, but I believe SLTC is the birthplace of green steel, and therefore we play it the most during the day, and that's where the most development happens, and the European players are sleeping and don't provide the tech that we have in SLTC to their European players. There, I said it.
I think you're going a little deep.
That's fair. However, green steel existed before SLTC had gotten to a volume of players into it.
Impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, but
Europeans they like red. Europeans chose red.
Yep.
Anyway,
they want you either a steel player or a red player in this game.
Well, I mean, yeah, you look at all their championships. This is a lot of red, purple, and red, blue players.
Yeah. So anyway, green steel versus green purple.
I think normally that might be the case, but I think every single one of those players has been practicing green steel regardless.
Okay. But that's the thing is that like green steel was like, I felt that green steel was one of the best decks of the format, and Europe was still not playing it to nearly the same capacity that NA was.
Hey Matt, how do you think green steel's been doing this format?
I thought green steel's been the best deck since
Diablo came out.
Basically since Diablo came out, there was a brief period in set 7 before they banned Hiram where it was not playable, then other than that, I think it's been the best deck.
Okay,
but let's play. And so green steel has a very right now, and Matt jump in if I get this wrong, a very flat matchup spread right now, where your pilot skill expression can take you further than some other decks can do. You don't have hard losses, you don't have hard wins.
I think you got hard wins. I don't know. I feel favored into basically everything other than aggro, amber, steel on the play.
Yeah, but you're a great player.
You're not the average green steel player though.
It's
no.
Just you hard win against red purple, like you hard win against Churna dogs, like and random slot.
I mean,
there are 13 European players. Like, hold on. Before I say anything else, do we consider Ben Simmons a European or
no? He's
Australian.
Oceanic.
Well, you have to add AKP into
no, I did. That's why it's 13, not 12.
So Ben Simmons is a one of.
Okay,
and then there's 13 Europeans.
There are 13 Europeans. What is the over/under on green steel? 6.5.
I think it's less.
I think
so.
If
3.5. If I was going to Worlds, I would probably not be bringing green steel.
Only because
I would agree with that.
I don't think it's the strongest steel choice.
Yeah. One of the things that I think really is underrated or underappreciated maybe about this format is the fact that you are going to get to play a deck on the play. Like, unless you win 2-0 on the draw, right? You can't lose a match without getting to play something on the play.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that like bringing like Amber Steel Vinny and just saying this is my on the play deck is going to be kind of where a lot of players start with the way that they are building a lineup. They're going to say this deck gets my win on the play 90% of the time or whatever. Like this is my on the play deck, and then they're going to make 2 decks with the other colors and try to figure out what to ban, right? And I haven't put like a ton of testing or effort into this format because I don't get to play it, but that's kind of where I would start. Is I would have my Amber Steel, this is my on the play win deck. I'd probably have red blue, and then I would be playing green purple, probably banning steel perhaps, unless I don't know, maybe you want to try to take that out with
the green purple I
with
feel
the
okay
with the red blue as well.
Or red blue, yeah, one of those.
My green purple, I would want to play the Beast with the Mystical Rose. like
Oh,
Sean Keenan did
yeah.
in Seattle.
What the fuck?
See,
Because that deck is saucy.
that's sauce.
And if you just if they can't pop your beast, right? Like if you take Steel out and they can't pop your beast, like that beast is living and then it's questing for like 16 next turn. It's
Mhm.
absolutely ridiculous.
Over under that level has a Beast Relentless in one of his decks.
Under.
I'm taking the over.
Want to be over?
I'm taking the under.
So
I'm not going to
No comment?
speculate
No
on,
comment?
No
what
comment.
Diego's playing. He's been the player that I have been helping with, and obviously, if I wouldn't be revealing his whole strategy.
Yeah.
That is my day one strategy. Would be what I just said, and I haven't thought about it really
that's
too
an
much
interesting
beyond
thing
that.
to think about with you're going to get to play some deck on the play. In some of my initial testing of this set, there is a blue steel allies deck that I have logged. I can look it up, but I've logged like probably 80 games, and I have an 81% win rate on the play.
So if you play blue steel, you have to play green, yellow, red, purple.
So the cool thing with red or blue steel allies, by the way, is that it has a 0% win rate into red blue, and you just ban red
And you
blue.
just ban red blue, yeah.
Boom, and
So
you
there's-
win worlds.
So there are two things that I want to talk about. Just talking about decks.
I just want to note that I don't think blue steel allies is that good.
I don't think so either. I'm just saying that
I think it's
that's
fine.
an experiment you can do, and that what Matt brought up is very. I
Yeah.
think that's really smart. That you can be like, okay, if I can find a really strong on the play deck, that might be really how you push this format.
Honestly,
I think
red,
that's
purple,
what
and
I'm
green,
doing.
yellow
Oh.
are both fine on the draw too. So
I think that's what a vast majority of them will do, because if you ban steel and you play an amber aggro deck, you're winning on the play. Like, there's a very low chance you're losing on the play.
So
Like,
I want
what
to
do we
talk
think
about.
the best on the play deck right now is? Probably Blurple.
It's amber steel aggro.
No,
Emerson.
it's Blurple.
It's Blurple.
Blurple is the best on the play deck. I'd
I
argue that.
disagree.
Any aggro, right?
It's got to be aggro.
Yeah.
Okay, so timeout. So
Wrong.
let me ask you this: if you had to choose between Blurple and amber steel aggro on the draw, which are you picking?
on the draw.
Blurple.
It's
Yeah.
Blurple,
Blurple.
and it's not close, right?
Yes.
That to
Yeah.
me, it's less about what the best deck on the play is, and it's about what the best delta between being on the play and on the draw is.
Not in this format is my point. Because in this
Right.
format, I'm going to play on the play.
Right,
Yeah.
but you're exactly right, but you are on the play with one deck. And if you have to choose, so full disclosure, there is a possibility that a lineup has amber steel and Blurple in it. Now, there is 0% chance that lineup has green red banned, but
Dude,
in a weird world where it is,
you're not ready
you-
for green red this weekend,
and you
by
had
the way.
to choose between amber steel on the play and amber steel on the draw, or Blurple on the play and Blurple on the draw, I'm picking amber steel on the play, Blurple on the draw every time.
Ah, man, get Dave on the hotline.
I think you guys
I'm
are
hoping.
underestimating how easy it is for Amber to win on the play, regardless of what your opponent plays.
Amber. Whoa, wait. Let's not say Amber. Let's just say.
No, I'm saying amber. I agree
mean,
with
it's
Steve.
mostly an Amber deck, right?
Turn
well,
one Cindy
Amber,
on the
we're-
play
we're
is
seeing
like a new
amber
level.
on the
We're gonna
play,
see
just
blue-
going and getting them,
We're
right?
seeing blue yellow this weekend, by the way. That
There's a
is
0% chance.
I know. I'm.
Dude,
hoping
wait.
that we
Have
see
you not
some
played against the
absolute
blue?
fight.
Have you not played against the blue yellow deck yet? You
Okay,
win
with-
by turn 4 every game.
Is it with ukulele in it, or is it
I haven't seen
aggro?
this deck yet. What is this?
So you play the 0/1 ward dog. You play then
Patch?
patch. Then you play Daisy or Piglets, whatever you want to play, and then you could shift into Thunderbolt, and that kills half your deck competition. But then you also have Alice, you have Wendy Darling. I've lost this deck several times today.
Okay,
Of course
okay.
It is
okay.
actually,
Of course you did.
it
No,
is
but-
actually something on.
No, but it's
especially on the
actually
play.
something though.
It's
So,
what.
So if
what
you
was it
take
was
blue
doing it on the
yellow,
ladder?
what
It
other
was Ish, I
combos can
think?
you do with that?
Blue
What other
yellow would
combos?
have to be with green.
So how many
Oh, God,
decks
no.
are able to remove a 3/7 by turn 3? Not
Green, steel,
many.
red, purple.
Yeah, that's a pretty good other lineup.
Green, purple, red, steel is it definitely not. Red.
Oof.
No, it is literally blue, yellow, green, steel, red, purple.
I don't think red steel is a bad choice if you can ban out other steel decks.
There's
not.
no way you show up to Continentals with blue, yellow, and red steel in your lineup. If someone does that,
You're
I-
eating a shoe,
cheering
dude.
for
You're gonna eat
I
a
will,
shoe.
I will eat a shoe. I will eat a shoe. Like, there is a 0% chance that anyone at
Oh.
Worlds has blue, yellow, red steel in their lineup.
I don't
See, I
know.
think it gets really interesting when you can ban a color. When you can say, I
Yeah.
don't have to play steel all tournament. You
Yeah.
can suddenly play
Banning
a bunch of
color
weird
still
things.
Yeah.
means you have to play good decks.
But
Yeah,
but
but
so
good
many
decks that-
become
those
good
decks
because
are-
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you
How
don't
many
get
times have we sat there going like, man, as long as I don't get Cindy Storm
Wait, no,
back, this deck's real good or
Okay,
something.
so-
even
so
that,
this leads-
imagine you could, like, back when Medusa literally controlled the format. Oh, we can't play Beast because of Medusa. Well,
Right.
if you just got rid of Medusa,
Now I don't have to play against Medusa ever.
it's just
Okay, so
everything.
on the topic of bans, I want to bring one thing up before, because I want to dig into lineups a little bit. I want to talk about like what I actually think could be played. But on the topic of bans, I think it's relatively agreed upon that banning the steel deck, aka amber steel or green steel, is going to be by far the most common ban. Are we all in agreement with that?
I don't think so.
I
think so, for sure.
I personally would ban steel because it's my most hated color. to play
Okay,
against.
so regardless, I have one point, and then we can talk about this. If you are against DKP or Sailor, and they have red, blue, and amber steel in their lineup, like, are you really gonna let them play red, blue against you?
Yeah, I don't
Right.
care if
Yeah.
they get a win with one of their decks. If,
Yeah.
if the other deck is what I'm targeting, right? Or if I'm targeting red, blue, I would have to feel confident that I can still beat them.
yeah.
But if I'm targeting their other deck, right?
Yeah.
Because what's their other deck now?
It'll be green,
Green
purple.
purple.
Green, purple, right? So if I'm like, I beat green, purple with all my decks, then they can get
win
their
with red,
win
blue?
with their red, blue deck.
Okay.
Right? You got to win 3. You got to win 2 out of 3. So if I'm
Yeah,
targeting,
I
like, that's
just-
the whole targeting thing, right?
I just think
And
there's
that's
spots where
that's
you might be like, I just don't want to see Maui Shark all day, right? And that could be also an
but
angle.
maybe that's like red. When I first saw the format, I was like, oh yes, red's gone. I hate red because I just like if I don't have to play a format with Be Prepared in, suddenly there's a whole new world of possibilities for me.
Because
Right? I
think,
can just build like
Nice.
3 tempo decks that just yeah, you like that one, right? So I can just build 3 tempo decks that just build on the board.
Yep.
Like just that's all I'm doing is just compounding on the board. I never have to worry about getting hit by Be
Yeah.
Prepared
and
ever
ward,
in the whole
ward
tournament
becomes stronger,
until top cut.
right? So you could play more warded units that maybe don't see it play as much,
Yeah.
and do
You know
some
what
silly
else?
things.
I'll give you my ultimate spicy strategy would be I'm targeting steel and I'm playing 3 location decks
There you go.
Oh yeah.
and I'm banning purple. That's my ultimate
Yeah.
spicy idea.
I mean, honestly,
that.
one of my favorite things to do into Amber Steel like songs is just like slam manners down because
Mhm.
their brains actually turn off and they don't know how to handle a
Their
9
brains
health
turn
location.
off.
And then you just win because they start swinging with their smees and not turning sideways. It's
Yeah.
chef's kiss,
Um,
man.
yeah, I'd play my location strategy and then Amber Steel would just go first and beat me by like turn 5.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything they want to bring up before we start talking like lineups / possible thing, like what we expect to be popular there?
I think. What do you think's the most popular deck that we'll see this weekend?
That we'll see, because like, hey, hold on. See as in
Are we-
seeing people's lineups, or see as in like we're gonna see it played? Because I think the answer to both of those is different.
No. I think played. I
Like-
personally think it's
As-
green purple.
Like
Purple,
it, like
not man.
represented.
Mm-hmm.
Like on stream or in
No,
lists?
just like represented. Like
Okay, represented
Like,
is the
like
key.
we're not
Yeah.
counting band. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I
Alright,
think
I
Amber
was trying to
Steel is gonna be the most represented.
no,
I would agree.
really.
Yeah.
I think it's green purple.
Just because of the color,
No, I don't think
color
it'd be green
coordination.
purple. I think red, purple.
Red
will
purple. I think it's
cannibalize
green
the
purple
counter.
or red purple, right? Like I think it's one of those two. But
I think.
Oh,
Well, I think
red,
I
blue.
think the two of those together will cannibalize the overall numbers.
oh, you're right.
So like I'm in a spreadsheet right now, and I'm just trying to like make the possible combinations. So like as an example, if you're playing Amber Steel, the 3 lineups that you can play with Amber Steel are Amber Steel, red, blue, green, purple. Great decks. Amber Steel, green, blue, red, purple. I think arguably also
Yes.
could be good.
So,
Hot take. That's my prediction to win the tournament.
oh, that's hot.
That's definitely a hot take.
Clip it.
Red Green World
'Cause
Champ.
that means Red Green has to win.
I agree.
So I know
Oof.
Dave made this comment like a while ago, and I think it's probably changed now.
56 green cards in Undermine, baby.
So the hardest thing that somebody has to do is win with red cards, or was it red or purple cards? I think he said red.
He was saying red would be targeted, right?
So like the hardest thing to do at Worlds would be win with a red deck, and either on the play or the draw. But I think like when I look at this though, I think you're underestimating how many people are probably just not bringing Amber Steel because they know it would be an instant ban for a lot of these people. I think
it's the same argument for Green Steel.
So the lineups that you can play with Green Steel are Green Steel, Red, Blue, Yellow, Purple.
Mm-hmm.
Green Steel, Blue, Yellow, Red, Purple. Green Steel, hold on. Yellow, Red,
we're
Blue,
definitely
Purple.
seeing a lot of Blue Steel, by the way, this weekend. I'm very confident in that too.
In Green Steel? Sorry, you're
Blue
confident
Steel.
in what?
Blue Steel.
In Blue Steel. Okay, so
Cog.
So
Coggy boy.
Blue Steel, Red, Purple, Green, Yellow. Blue Steel,
You
Red,
just ban
Yellow.
red and you could play Blue Steel again.
Green,
It's
purple.
amazing.
Blue Steel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if
Red,
there's no
green.
Sisu's in prep, you can play Alice and Cogsworth and Calhoun's into all these steel decks.
Let's go Cogsworth.
Let's go Cogs.
But
Okay,
guys,
so
it's June 2025. But did we not listen to
No,
Dave?
no,
There is-
we're gonna prove Dave wrong.
there is
My
there is
response
one.
to Dave,
Hold
bro.
on,
There's
hold
a
on.
reason why we're not there.
There is
Who knows?
there is one single lineup that doesn't look absolutely awful to me with Blue Steel. So you have Blue Steel, Red, Green, Purple, Yellow. Blue
Ew.
Steel, Red, Yellow, Green, Purple. Blue
That's-
Steel, Red, Purple, Green, Yellow.
That's not that bad.
That's
That's
a good lineup. Like that's a fine
That's
lineup.
The second
What was
one
the
is like
second one
the
you said?
triple aggro.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the same thing. The second one sounded like the triple aggro
You
one.
want
It
to know
has to
something
be.
that gave me a
Blue
ton of
Steel,
problems,
Red,
by the way?
Yellow, Green, Purple.
So Steven, you'll like this. The Amber
Steel.
or the Blue Steel ally
Go
deck
get
that
him.
I played against was playing Lady Cluck because his testing partner was playing Blurple, and he said that his Chen Po getting Hades lost him so many games that he decided to swap it to Lady Cluck so that
Oh
you
no!
can't target it.
The Cluckster.
The Cluckster, and I had to challenge
We got a
5
reader. What
characters
does
to take out.
Lady Cluck do?
Lady
Dylan?
Cluck? Oh yeah, actually good. Dylan,
Let
what does Lady
someone
Cluck
tell
do?
us. Yeah.
New segment. We got a reader.
Okay,
What
hold
does
on.
Lady
All
Cluck
right,
do?
one set. Let's start there.
Oh my god. Okay, Lady Cluck. She's got to be set 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
there.
She's a Blue Steel. 5 cost 2/7.
Okay. What does her?
Okay.
You know what her text says?
Okay, I think she's a bodyguard.
Uh huh.
Uh huh.
You have one
But
more
I can't
keyword.
remember if she has ward or if she has something to do with allies.
So she does have ward. I'll give you
Okay.
that one. Now, if you could get this last piece, I'll take back every negative thing I've ever said about you ever.
Ever? Okay, hold on. Okay.
Over under,
Yeah.
boys.
Never.
Under.
Literally never happening.
Fuck. Okay, hold on.
Get your mean things ready.
wait,
Uh,
Josh. We need the 2 hours later. Like,
It's got to be something like whenever an ally comes in, she
Oof.
heals.
oof,
Ah.
oof. Final answer.
Unfortunate.
No. She is an ally, and I know she heals.
Dylan, you're never getting this one. I'm
Okay,
so
I'm
sorry.
I'm sorry. You're just not happy.
Yeah.
Do you know what Maid Marian does?
Wait, that's it? It's just I was right. You baited me, you son of a bitch.
So what's funny though is if
the
you
one,
pull
that
up
was
Maid
what you're
Marian though, there
Yeah, Maid
has
Marian's the one with the extra
extra
text.
text.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's oh
Yeah.
my god. I literally had this card right. You have to take back every negative thing you've ever said about me.
All right.
He's right.
All right. Dylan was 30 seconds in my mind. Let's see.
Oh, man.
Okay, so
Give
anyway,
him
so
Palace.
back to possible lineups. So we talked about Amber Steel, Green Steel, Blue Steel.
hmm
So Purple Steel, which I think is going to be the least represented deck
Oh. Whoa.
because
I don't
the
agree with that
options
at all.
are
I don't agree with that because of some of the players.
so the options are Purple Steel, Red, Green, Yellow, Blue.
hmm
Purple
Oh,
Steel, Red, Blue,
broken.
Yellow, Green, which I actually think is a reasonable lineup. And then Purple Steel, Red, Yellow, Blue, Green.
Be Bivens lineup, the second one you said.
You think that's what Bibbins
Count
is
it.
playing? Wait, he just played green
Purple
yellow
steel.
recently.
Purple steel,
that was the third one.
green,
in the one
yellow,
you
red,
read.
blue.
Yeah.
And,
Sorry, what's the
he's
Bibbins
gonna
lineup
play
you're
like
calling?
the.
Purple
Purple
steel, what?
steel, purple steel, yellow, green, red, blue.
Do you think he's playing items or do you think he's playing shark?
Shark DKP.
I think he's gonna play the Robin Hood shark one.
Ooh,
That sounds
Oh
like
my
that
word.
sounds like something
With the
Bibbins would
Lilo?
do.
With Lilos!
Sharpshooter and Lilo.
Sharpshooters and
Yeah.
Lilos. Sharp Lilo.
He's got that dog. What's that like red blue dog card that like has a crazy effect?
Oh, the
Beagle Boys?
Bad
the Beagle
Boys or
Boys.
something.
Beagle Boy.
The Beagle Boys.
Yeah,
Beagle
when you
Boys.
quest, a character gets rush.
And
That's the
resist.
future of
And
Red
resist,
Blue.
yeah.
After
That's
rotation.
the future Red Blue, yeah.
The future is now.
I don't see. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. Purple Steel might be a hard ask. I feel like you just
Purple
take
Steel's
like
level 3, man. That deck's gonna tear it up.
I don't know, but like Steel, I think Purple Steel is the third. Oh, okay, all right.
But let's talk about
Look at it
like
this
we
way:
were just talking
if
about
Purple
decks on
Steel
the
is
draw.
the third worst Steel deck, then maybe it won't get banned.
I don't think Purple Steel is ever getting.
dude, you can't waste a ban on Purple Steel. What are you talking about? Unless they
Yeah.
don't ban Shark for you, you're
I
letting
think
them
the
play.
only way you're banning Purple Steel is if
Actually,
you're
no,
playing
never mind.
blue green.
I think there is a
Actually,
0%
yes.
chance that Sailor
we
or
didn't even talk about blue
DKP
green.
are on purple, steel, red, blue, green, yellow because the easy ban in that lineup is red, blue.
So, yeah, but if you want to play Steel cards, you might have to be sleeving up Purple Steel. So,
Yeah, if you want to play, but
Yeah.
then
You have
like
to play
so
Steel
what
cards.
Matt was saying, like, what if I'm targeting Steel? Do I still follow through and ban the Purple Steel?
You can target steel with that lineup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Purple steel
No,
locations.
I mean other players.
But,
who
like,
are-
if
who
we're
are, like,
talking
sorry,
about fair
other
lore
players
That
who
was
are
the
like,
thing.
oh, I'm building my set of decks to avoid Steel. I'm just going to ban Steel. What if you get to that player? Is Purple Steel worth the ban?
yeah, probably
Like,
not.
depends
do
on
you have
the
to
deck.
reconsider?
I don't think
That's
so.
It
interesting.
depends, right? Because you're going to see
Yeah.
a ton of builds that you've probably never seen in this game yet.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah, I
you're
think
probably
so.
going to
Yeah.
see cards you might not have seen
Yeah,
played.
Yep.
exactly.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
for that.
That's
'Cause that's the
the
thing about the
biggest hope,
format.
right? Is we're just gonna have the weirdest decks because like this card never worked because of Storm Rage on or something like that.
Exactly.
Like
Yep.
Chicha,
And-
like Chicha's a great example. You can't sleeve up Chicha right now because you're gonna get Storm Cindied or Diablo Cindied or
Well-
Stormed, whatever. But
Oh
like,
god, are we just going
I-
to see a bunch of Red
I
Blue
have a
Oswald
different
decks
argument
now?
there.
dude, all right,
I think you can't sleeve Chicha because
Moss
Hiram was
Chicha.
banned.
Moss Chicha.
So I
No,
agree.
but sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna talk about red steel lineups next, but go ahead.
I lost my train of thought. It was off
been waiting
whatever
It was
he
this.
said.
I was just saying stupid things. So just,
Anyways,
No,
Anyways,
Pete said
Chicha.
something that I. Oh, Oswald. So that's another thing.
Oh yeah, Oswald, yeah.
You can play an Oswald deck and ban Steel, and then
Oh.
like there's no efficient, quick answer to Oswald. Like the only thing that exists is Brawl,
Yeah.
So
and that's the turn
Whoa,
after.
whoa,
if
hold
you're
on. There's
play.
mosquito bite.
dude.
I mean,
imagine
people can sleeve up mosquito
I think
bite.
his point still stands.
What a sideboard card that would be, by the way.
Right.
So before we talk about like tournaments that have ever played this, the last possible set of lineups, and just to be clear, there's no other possible scenario because like essentially what I've done is I've taken one color and I've said we have to start with this color, so steel. So we've done the amber steel lineups, we've done the green steel lineups, blue steel, purple steel. The red steel lineups, which I think so hot take number 2 of Dylan today, there will be 0 players playing this lineup.
Oof. Okay.
0. Red, steel, green, yellow, blue, purple, which I think is the closest to being real.
Okay.
See,
I don't see
it's
that.
funny. It's funny you said that because that is exactly what Ghosty just played at the triple deck in SSG.
Red, steel, green, purple, yellow, blue,
That sounds broken.
and red, steel, and like literal 0, like could be negative if possible. Red, steel, green, blue, yellow, purple.
Dude, you're.
I will eat 2
Did you
shoes
see
if
the
someone plays that
discourse
shit.
of green blue items, man?
It's
That lineup
Yeah.
sounds like it doesn't have a great ban is kind of the issue. But I
Agreed.
could see, like, I'm trying to think of like a red steel deck
That's actually the smart way to look at it, by
lineup
the
where
way.
I'm banning red, and my red steel deck is just like the ultimate owning the board
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So we got Ghosty's tweet. Did he
Yeah.
win the event, or was it
yes,
was it
he
a
won the event.
Yeah. This deck owns, by the way.
Dylan,
go
get your
crap.
shoes. Get ready
Get
to
your
eat
horse
them.
out.
So this was his. This
Oh,
was his
shit.
I'm
red
guessing he
seal.
banned Steel.
Oh shit.
Then he had
Okay,
his
you got
purple list.
like
Certainly
little
he
baby
banned
shoes
Steel.
in your house, right?
There's
At
this.
least.
Yeah, he's definitely banning Steel.
And then here's the Turner Dogs list.
Oh yeah, he's yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a steel band.
That's a Steel ban for sure.
So this will be a lineup. I think it's possible we would see.
So what,
I
what
mean,
did his red
yeah,
steel
it
deck?
could be a red
Can you go back
band.
to
Can you go
red
back to-
steel
yeah,
deck?
can
What
you
did
go back to
that
red
be?
steel?
So the thing
this
is,
is
if
like
you
Beating with it.
this Tinkerbell is the same thing as Oswald. Like if you ban Steel, that thing's gonna pop
First
off.
off,
Oh, yeah.
red decks
Even
aren't even
Flynn.
playing Brawl right now. I mean, red purple is, but are you really not? Like they play Flynn Rider, and you just
I don't even know what that Tinkerbell does,
Oh
man. I
wait,
don't
wait.
know.
Oh wait,
I
wait,
would've
wait.
Oh,
lost
no,
that lady
minimize.
challenge.
Make him do the game. Make
I
him do
would
the
have
game.
lost. No, I don't know what it does. It's 2, it's 1 cost. I think if you play a big boy,
Yep.
you
Oh.
get some lore.
There you go.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Like
Yeah, there you go. You
all
got
the
it.
cards do the same thing in the discard pile. I don't need to know what people's cards do.
Yeah. So Tinkerbell's sweet because whenever you play a character with 5 or more, you may exert it to gain 2 lore. So Prince John next turn.
Pluto. It's
Pluto
got my
next
boy
turn.
Pluto in
Maui
there.
next turn. Could be Namari.
And then the Max.
And
Yeah,
then
so you can just
Namari
never bring.
Christmas-
He's obviously
Christmas
Steel.
Miracle Horse is back, baby.
No, not even Christmas Miracle. Namari just needs like 10 cards in the Inkwell.
I'm
Or, I mean,
sorry.
or the
Hold
discard
on.
to trigger that.
What
That's-
set
that's
was
not bad.
What set was Maximus in?
Oh come on, buddy.
4.
Is he
5?
rotating?
No.
It's 5. I
Wait,
think.
5. It's 5.
It's 5.
Is
it's
it
5?
5?
Yeah.
there's a
Maybe the
chance.
Oh yeah, 5.
So
There's a chance we're playing Horse next Worlds, boys.
Slight spoiler for allies on the other side, but Namari and Maximus were in Justin's storyboard, and so that's what he played for the allies on the other side event.
Did he win?
That's
He did not win.
Oh, spoilers.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but that's also
my bad.
like unique thing. Yeah.
He almost won.
So what do we think? So I guess this comes back to something that we were planning on bringing up. So do we have the ability to bring up, like, what deck? So WCC played a triple deck tournament. Do
Mhm.
we have an idea of what the? No, this isn't what I thought it was. Do we have an
The
idea of what the
winner-
meta was?
Well,
The
yeah, this
winner,
is-
I
so,
just want to
like-
point it out because it's cool, but the winner of that tournament had Green Steel in his lineup, and it was the Hercules from like set 3, where like you banish a character and play one for free with the same name. That guy won the whole thing.
But there were-
It was
there were
Hades,
two
you mean.
tournaments.
Hades,
though, right?
the Green
There's
Hades.
2, yeah.
Did I say? I meant Hades. Yeah, I don't know what I
Okay,
said.
yeah.
Same movie.
sweet.
So one.
Yeah, they had 2 events. This is the only one that's showing up in Inkdex, and it's not all complete. But like, Foster Youngs played these 3 decks,
Yeah, purple, steel, red, blue, green, yellow.
and Kyle Force played these 3 decks. And
Red,
this guy
blue,
played
yellow.
these 3
Yeah,
decks.
we have
Okay.
2 of the first place
Where's
decks.
is
and
J-Bomb on there?
a
Or
few
no?
top 8s and top 16.
No, because
So this is
he
pretty
didn't
much,
make it first day, but he did second. But I
Gotcha.
can't
Maybe I
find the
do.
second day. I don't
So
know.
what do we think is the most represented 3 decks tomorrow? Or sorry, Saturday.
I think that first combo, purple, steel,
combo.
red, blue, and green, yellow. I think.
You think that's the most
Oh.
popular?
No. I think the most popular 3 deck is definitely going to be red, blue, amber steel, green, purple.
Mm,
Just play the best 3 decks.
just
I think that will
best
be the
three
most
decks.
popular.
Okay.
I don't
I
know if
agree
it'll
with
be the
that.
one that wins, but
I think it's a safe call because like you're playing 3 good decks, right? Maybe that's maybe what people will do.
The problem is, what do those 3 good decks not want to see?
Right. That's where I'm at. I think Matt brought up a good point earlier. Is that like you should start this with what are you looking to ban, and then
Yeah,
what
I think
does
I'd
that
rather
open up?
play that way.
So I don't think that deck wants to play against sharks. Like if you're green purple,
No, green, purple. You want red, blue, right?
like you want red blue items, but you really don't want red blue.
No, you want
DKP.
red, blue,
No,
I
I
think
can get
you're-
I can get under them.
dude.
yeah.
They just feast on red, blue the entire time.
Put in some 1-drop Clarabelles and pop there.
Because you want to.
stupid
You
item.
like I. Green
Or
purple.
Fred.
Green purple has gotten a little bit better against amber steel, especially the aggro versions. Like you can tempo them.
I'm just gonna triple Merfolk into Merfolk Flynn
Amber Steel doesn't want to play against red blue.
against
Red
his red blue
red
guys.
blue, you don't really want to play against the red blue mirror. So I think that Amber Steel, red blue, green, purple
I
is
think it
probably
also.
Isn't the answer always just aggro?
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. I think
I think
Amber
so.
Steel
Yeah.
actually, depending on the version, is fine with seeing red blue. Like Amber Steel aggro with Vinny, we'll take red blue all day.
okay. So the
I think this is a deck
Yeah.
that we'll see a bunch of.
I mean,
Red,
yeah,
yellow
one
songs
other
or
thing to
aggro?
consider is like, so for example, like the Amber Steel, green purple, and red blue thing. If you just bring triple aggro and you're not feeling comfortable into your green purple matchup, you just say, "Who cares? I'll lose that one and farm the other one," right?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the target. So that was what I was gonna say there.
Yeah.
So the thing that so if you're playing Amber Steel, let's play that we're a Worlds team. Your Amber Steel, red, blue, green, purple is tier 0. That's like the baseline. The logical conclusion is going, I'm going to aggro farm red, blue, right? That's the
Mhm.
logical conclusion. What is the best triple aggro lineup?
I
Probably
mean,
the one you said earlier. Whatever one had red yellow in it.
Steel, red, yellow.
Purple steel, red, yellow.
No,
Oh.
blue.
Blue
You gotta have
steel.
blue steel. That's the only
blue,
way.
red,
or
yellow,
I guess your blue,
green,
yellow
purple.
Yeah,
can
blue
be
steel,
aggro, but
blue steel, red, yellow, green, purple.
Yeah,
sleeping
because
on,
maybe it is blue
sleeping
yellow.
on the blue
You can do
yellow
like a
dive.
racers. I was just mostly looking
You
at this
could
for the
blue
ink
yellow.
combo, but you do racers with like Rapunzel and Gothel.
I don't think we'll see racers only because the testing I did with it, you could get away with banning cards, but it was still just not good enough. But
I think the lineup that you see racers the most in, or some sort of red yellow, is green steel, red yellow, blue purple.
Yeah.
Because the other red yellow lineups are blue steel, red yellow, green purple, which we talked about, like hyper aggro. Purple steel, red yellow, blue green, which I don't think has a great ban. And that's it.
Yeah, I think I would just. I mean, maybe
Wait,
without
what? No.
knowing. Maybe without knowing what the other players are doing.
yes.
I think I'd rather walk into the room knowing I'm going to target a color.
Yeah.
I think that's how I would play. And I think the most consistent way to do that is with a triple aggro list.
But you
I think
could.
if you've got a deck targeted, you don't care how good the player is on the deck.
Yeah.
Like watching Ed
Right.
play against Sailor at Continent, right? You're like, well, there's one of the best red blue players, but my deck targets the heck out of that, and I just
Yep.
Okay, so question.
Right, that's the whole point of what you're bringing, regardless of who you're against.
I mean,
you still
I could
that's
believe
your game plan,
I could
right?
believe that Sailor might not even be playing red blue this weekend.
There's no.
I
There's
wouldn't
no
be
way.
surprised.
I would
I
not
think
be
there's a
if he
surprised
feels
at all.
like it's targetable,
Yep.
I could see him moving
Yeah.
off it, right?
So okay, let's make one more. Let's go level 3 real quick, and then I'll let other people kind of
And then
carry
we'll
the
go
conversation.
level 9001.
So,
Ayo.
Ayo. Okay, so if level 0 is Amber
The
Steel,
best
red,
three
blue, green,
decks.
purple.
Yep.
Level 2 is I'm gonna bring 3 aggro decks.
You skip. Yeah.
Sorry, level 1 is 3 aggro decks. What's level 2? How do you target all 3 aggro decks?
Going slightly slower than that,
Right.
right? By being 3 mid-range
Mid-range.
decks
Yep.
that ban red.
I think
probably.
I think the important part is that you put your purple not with a steel.
I don't think it-
because
no,
you
the
want
red steel angle.
I don't
want,
think
you want
I don't think
purple to be seen
I think it's a red
against
steel
aggro.
aggro because you don't want red purple. Bye, Rick. I think it's a red steel angle. So I think you need to play red steel, green purple. No, yellow blue. That doesn't sound great. Red steel,
Wasn't
green,
it?
yellow, blue, purple.
Sounds great for me to watch.
Well, that's the flip side of all this, right? Do we think this will be enjoyable content to see?
I think I'm
Absolutely.
going to enjoy seeing the deck lists more
Yeah,
than watching the games.
I think if we saw the list early and we thought through how things could go, it would be a lot more exciting than actually watching.
Yeah, kind
Unfortunately.
of being like, oh, I bet if this person plays this person, they'll do this.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then, that's fair. I know that I I was a pretty
Great.
big Hearthstone Conquest fan. I really liked watching it. It was a lot of fun. I think the thing that I'm gonna knock against this event is the super sealed. That's, I think, the low hanging fruit of.
Yeah.
I'm not excited to watch that, but I'm still
I'm most
not.
excited to see the casters try to like call all the
Yeah.
cards. played
I'm
in
still
Super
not
Seal.
like super thrilled about Conquest in Lorcana because it's not quite the same. You have to play 6. In Hearthstone, there were like 9 classes, and you didn't have to play all of them, so it was still variety to it. And I'm afraid that, especially with the amount of teams that there are, that there might be a lot of players that show up with the same lineups.
Yeah.
Like everyone kind of came to the same conclusion independently.
I
But
feel
we'll
like
see.
Hearthstone kind of got there though. Like, I almost think it. I don't know. I mean, I almost want to say the opposite. That because like Hearthstone usually was like, well, here's kind of like the best 4 decks, and people just kind of brought that
Mhm.
often, right? But here, with like the color combinations, I don't know. It feels a bit more unique, I guess, and a bit more.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot more room to be diverse and creative in this.
Okay. That's fair. I could be looking at Hearthstone with rosy tinted glasses being like, oh yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was also years ago.
Yeah, it also really depends on the
I thought it
creativity
was
of players
fun.
and how much testing they do, right? Like,
Yeah.
do they really want to go outside the box, or do they just want to say, I'm going to stick to the safe stuff?
Right.
I'm just not sure the
that's
safe
another
stuff is
thing.
very safe though.
Well, that's
Well,
where
I
prep
mean, it
comes
depends
into
on-
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like how hard are you being targeted at the same time, right?
Yeah.
The 2 other points that Dave brought up were, so like number 1 is if somebody figures out, like somebody breaks the format, figures out the deck that just beats everything.
Yep.
You're never gonna see it
Yeah, and that's one of the
because
things
it's just
that
gonna
like
get banned.
that was always the coolest part about the Pro Tour. Like in Magic, like right, like for those of you who don't know, typically the Magic Pro Tour is 2 to 3 weeks after a set release. And there have been multiple times where post set release a deck has come out of nowhere and become the boogeyman and just like terrorize the format. I think one of the best examples of like a deck that there were multiple people on, and that version of the deck didn't actually become the best deck in the format, but something extremely close, is what's affectionately in Magic called Eldrazi Winter. So there was a deck that came out that there was a couple teams on, and the top 8 was something absurd, like 6 or 7 out of top 8 of Eldrazi decks, and it was a very low percentage of the Pro Tour. And that spawned a blue-white, I'm pretty sure ended up being the best version of Eldrazi afterwards, of just like one of the worst times in Magic history, like just ridiculous. Another really good example was actually Cobblade in Magic, which is back in like 2011. That deck wasn't super popular going into the tournament. I think Valakut was popular. There's a couple other decks that were popular, but Cobblade just was like, people were like, oh shit, putting Sword of Feast and Famine on a Squadron Hawk is just like that good. And yeah, it was the first time in over a decade, I think, that cards were banned in Standard. Like Stoneforge Mystic and Jace were banned in Standard. So to Dave's point, yeah, like if someone finds a red steel deck that is like, oh my god, how did we never think of this? This is absurd. It's gonna get played maybe
like
once.
if there's a red steel deck that's like, okay, I ban your steel, and then you're not gonna ban my red steel, and I'm gonna win no matter what I play against. The question then becomes, how quickly will these guys be able to identify and adjust to that?
It's a 28-person tournament. Like, it's people be talking.
But
Also
are
just
you going to
think
be
that's
talking?
kind of
There's like scouting when you're playing in a big event, but like, how much are they going to be able to look at what's happening, who's winning with what, and I don't know.
There'll be some slow players there.
I think that's kind of also just like a Lorcana thing right now. I think you'll get your wish if you'd like to see that, which I do because I like to see like creativity rewarded like that.
Mhm.
I think we'll get that after rotation.
Yeah,
Because I think that Lorcana right now, just with Storm or with turn 2 Storms and be prepared in the format, it doesn't really give room for someone to make it through a tournament like that. Like I try to think about like, has anyone done that? I mean, I guess kind of the closest is Green Steel in Vegas, right? Like that was something where like most people were not really on it.
People said it was dead,
and then the people who were on it stormed through the tournament, and it ended up being like a mirror match in the finals, right?
Well, it was 3 of them in the top 4, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and even more in the rest of the top cut. I think it was.
The reason I was the most excited for the Toronto DLC was because the fact that it ended up not being nearly as new of a format as I was hoping. I mean, I still top 16, so it's fine. But when Bucky got banned, it opened up the possibility of like, well, I mean, Green Yellow was the best example, right? Like that tournament, Green Yellow didn't exist before that tournament. Like it did. Like it did. True. Well, okay, so time out. It existed, but like, could you really play it?
Yeah, we were playing it.
Yeah, it was doable in like Chicago and stuff, right? Like there was people on it.
Joey Quinn made day 2 with
Toronto had some of the coolest decks in Top Cut that like we had never seen before, like green purple Jafar, and red blue
support
beat down Li Shang combo, right? Like we saw some really cool stuff. So I think that I mean, and kind of similarly in set 7, where it was dominated until Hiram was banned, and then it opened up and more decks were playable, right? So I think we'll see that with the de facto bans in the rotation once some of these like oppressive cards are gone.
If there's
my stance, Dylan, was that Green Yellow was the second best deck before Bucky bans, and then after it became the best. Not everybody shares that point, and I value their opinions, but that's where I landed.
If there is a DLC within a month of rotation, I really want to go to it.
Hey, you should just come down to Maryland and go to the Ink Open.
I'd love to see a DLC happen like really close to rotation too, so that like somebody can go ahead and win that thing with a deck we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, kind of like a Paltry kind of thing.
Yeah. The Paltry is a great example. Like that was
yellow purple Mufasa.
Awesome. But even that, like, I mean, I think he kind of got a bit of a lucky run, right? Like he dodged steel to kind of get there.
Sure, but guess what? He could do that again tomorrow by dodging all the steel, or Saturday, whatever.
Yeah,
that's
not
the
to
thing
take,
about this.
not to take anything away from him, but I think that a lot of these like decks that have done well, that are like, whoa, that's a really weird one. It's like they dodge their bad matchup.
Yeah,
and that's
and now
just
we're about to play
typically
in a format
because
where you
the
can
bad matchup has
choose
some
to
crazy
dodge your bad
oppressive
matchup.
cards.
Yeah,
and then after rotation, all those oppressive cards ideally will be gone, and we will have hopefully a wide open format where you can.
Rotation will be very exciting.
You can build something and be like, this doesn't really have a bad matchup and kind of crushes, and no one's thought of it yet. Yeah, that's the dream. Right?
I'm optimistically holding my breath based on how much they reprint.
Yeah.
We'll see. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wait. So hold on. I think there was one other thing Dave said. Vegas, do you have that other? Because you made it to one point.
It's a very similar point, but also if someone brings like a someone brings, I don't know, yellow blue puppies, just a deck no one has seen, and it's super interesting. It might not be broken, but it's like super interesting. It could be cool. Whoever they pair into might see the list and be like, I don't know how the hell I'm going to deal with that, and just ban it.
Sure, just
that's got to be broken if he's brought that.
Yeah,
let's get that out of here.
Exactly. So, like, I don't know. There's a little bit of worry on the viewer side for me.
That we're just going to see a lot of the same because people will either ban the unique ones that are breaking the format, or ban the ones that they haven't seen. So it's like, oh, cool. It's another red purple mirror for the third round.
Exactly. That's just a little bit of worry that.
That's my
Dave has shared that I agree with.
So, round table, most represented deck. Vegas, gun to your head, go.
Wait, what was the question?
Most
Oh, you're dead.
Dead.
Yeah, you're dead. Too
But
late.
Dylan, how about you go first? Let us think of so.
Amber Steel
Most
is the most
played
represented.
deck?
No, most represented deck. What is the color pairing that is going to
Are
be
we
the most popular?
counting if it also? Are we still counting it if it gets banned?
Yeah, like
yeah, just in a roster.
the 6 decks,
Like the most
28
brought.
Yeah, the most brought
Okay.
deck.
Red blue.
Pete,
I'm going red blue as well.
Josh,
Same.
Matt.
Amber Steel.
3 red blues, 2 amber steels.
Okay,
I
most
just think there's a wave of red blue right now. I think, and I
so least represented deck.
out of what, like, just
It's probably red green, right? It has to be red green.
Like the
yeah, red green by like just easy factors, but maybe like blue green out of actual decks that people are playing.
I think it's blue yellow.
I can see blue green. Because blue green's like hates steel, right? Like that's one
Yeah.
of those decks where you can just start with a steel ban and be like, oh,
That's true.
I'm
Yeah,
going
that's
blue
true.
green.
That's fair.
Josh.
I think it's red steel.
Oh yeah.
Even though there's some spicy stuff, I feel like people won't want to pair those two strong regions or colors together.
Yeah.
What was
that's true.
Dylan's shoe eating bet again?
That
no one would
No
bring that?
one's bringing red steel.
No, no one. Just
Oh,
least
yeah.
represented, I'd say.
No. But my shoe eating is my double shoe is
Oh,
there's
oh.
zero. There's 0 people with red steel, blue, yellow.
It's not 0.
No, with red steel, blue, yellow.
Nah. It's greater than 1. Come on.
It's good.
Or greater than 0. Greater than 0.
Red, steel, blue, yellow. What does that leave?
Green, purple.
Green, purple. That's a paltry list if I ever.
I was
You feel light up
leaning
myself?
towards red green because if you pick that, the rest of your pairings are a little bit suboptimal. But now that Josh says red steel, I think I agree with that. Like those pairings are probably worse.
I
Maybe
legit
red
think
green's
there's a
the top.
chance. I legit think there's a chance that like if we talk about a deck that's like holy shit, that thing is like, if there was a color pairing that could shock people and go, that is way better than I was expecting it to be, I think it's red green. And I think that if
I can
I
agree
was
with that.
going into this tournament and I made this comment as soon as I saw the format, I said if I with 0 prep, I would be bringing amber steel, blue, purple, red, green.
I think you'll see at least 3 people with that lineup.
I think that's a lineup that you would see.
And I think there's going to be 2 versions of what I will call red green. I think there's like the green discard where it's like 56 green cards and 4 undermines. And
That'd be so funny.
And I think there's a chance that there's like a Robin Hood Lilo style red green.
You come in here trying to target red, and the red guy is just playing
4
No
undermines.
red.
Yep. Could you imagine someone's lineup? The only red card in their deck is red green hybrid.
Well, but that's interesting though, because like you're kind of like daring your opponent to ban amber steel, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, or do you want to roll the dice with this weird list? And
And
like,
I'm
purple,
banning amber steel with that lineup 100% of the time.
There could be a world where you ban the blurple and you kind of try to handle the other two, depending on the red-green construction.
No. What I'm saying is, as that lineup, I'm going in saying I'm banning amber steel every time.
Oh, gotcha, sure.
Oh, sure, yeah.
All right. So, a handful of people have put their like bets, not bets. That's the wrong word. Don't ban us. Have put their challenges kind of on the line, right? Saying like, oh, if this many SLT people top, like I'll eat this many hot dogs or whatever.
Yeah.
If an SLTC player wins Worlds, I'll do the next SLTP from my bathtub.
Okay.
Oh,
That'll be mine.
That's like, okay, that's not
Nice.
even. So hold on. If you do like just pure like, every person has the exact same odds to win. That is a 29% chance.
I think it's higher than that. I think
Yeah.
we got it.
I
I
agree
agree.
that it's
I'll be-
higher.
I'll
than
be
that.
happy. I'll be happy to join you guys from the top. That's where it all started for Lorcana for me. So I'd be happy to get back.
I mean, we also kind of do. We have the most. Our group of 8 also is a good amount of champions too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder,
Mhm.
Diego, Ed.
Again.
And again.
Ed again. Yeah, Ed twice. Yeah, technically. Yeah.
Don't forget anyone now.
I'm looking through the list. Am I forgetting someone? Actually,
I don't
I think you're
you are.
messing with me. Oh no. Yeah, because Patrick was 4th. Wep was a runner-up. Sailor was a NAC pass-through. So was Pando.
Sailor wasn't a pass down. Sailor
No, I mean,
made Tonka.
sorry, and made it through from Continentals. Sorry, yeah, not a pass
Yeah.
down. Yes, that was just bad wording. And then Kurt was a pass down. But
Or
yes,
it was a pass down. That Swift performance in Continentals got him there.
Yeah. Well, get your bathtub ready.
I'm ready.
So
I mean, I'm still putting money on Kurt. If I'm picking one guy to
not
win
money,
this whole
not
thing,
money, not real money.
no,
Don't ban us.
I'm just saying like if I was picking one person out of this group of
Yeah.
28, I think Kurt is the scariest player.
I said Ed.
Hmm.
So let's go through the list real quick. So there's two things. So one, what lineup would you take? And two, who do you think is going to win? So I have already said I would take Amber Steel, Blue Purple, Red Green, and I'm taking Ed to win. Josh?
I have to come up with a lineup. It would probably be. Oh, I had one before.
I
It's
haven't thought
probably
enough about
red,
this.
green, blue, steel, and what's left? Amber, purple. Right? Is that what's left?
Green, purple.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
said blue steel.
Blue Steel what? Blue Steel,
Oh.
green, purple, red, yellow?
No, red, green.
Blue Steel, red, green, yellow, purple.
So yellow, purple.
Yeah.
You would take that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm doing.
I
Wait,
mean,
wait.
it's a
Who
very
do you have
good
to win?
aggro lineup.
Who are you picking to win?
I'm gonna go with Diego.
Oh my god.
You
Okay, I'll go with
You can still pick
Brian.
him. Canada's
Let's do
good
that.
enough.
The Rat?
Yeah.
Pete?
Those are my two.
I'm going with blue steel, yellow red, and green purple.
Triple aggro. Okay.
Turn him sideways.
I'm turning them sideways.
Who's
And I already
winning?
said Kurt. So Kurt.
Oh,
Kurt's my
Kurt,
pick,
right?
so,
Yeah. Okay. Matt?
Green steel.
Shocker.
Blurple. Green steel, blurple, red, yellow.
Okay.
Diego's gonna win.
Steve?
I haven't thought enough about this. So I think I would lean towards the same as Dylan, which was blue, purple, red, green,
Amber Steel.
amber steel. I think I would lean towards that. And to win, off the top of my head, I would probably agree with Kurt. Or Theo.
Theo time?
Oh.
Does anyone else want to talk about anything else? Did we miss anything?
No, I think we're good.
I think as much as like we've talked about like, oh, I don't know how good it'll be to watch, like I don't this, that, or the other thing. I will be
We're all
watching
gonna be
Worlds.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
all be watching.
I'm excited.
I'm very
I'll be up
excited.
with my coffee.
I'm very excited for our teammates. Teammates. I don't know, Discord mates, teammates, whatever.
Yeah.
Our
Um,
friends. Our friends.
Yeah, our
His
friends.
friends. Yeah.
Homies.
Shout out to all 8 of them. Good luck in the tournament. Yeah, 8 out of 28 is wild and just an unreal stat. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the decks. I think it's going to be really cool. It's unfortunate that this is like really, other than like little tiny ones, this is the only set 8 tournament that we're really gonna see. Like other than like there's gonna be like other ones, but like not to the same level. I guess we didn't talk about one thing, which was that it is expected, if not confirmed, we're gonna get the DLC schedule this weekend, right?
I'm expecting that they give us location and dates, kind of like they did last year when they announced it at the beginning.
They said DLC news.
Yeah,
right?
they said they would talk about it. We don't know.
God,
if
I
that
hope we get a
includes actual
schedule.
dates or anything like that.
Oh my
They
god.
spoiled a bunch of stuff, prize cards and the schedule,
Yeah.
and like, come
They
on,
really
give
should,
it to us.
like,
We've been waiting.
Unload.
We're still here.
Like literally just let us, please, for the love
Get
of
all of it.
God. If we leave Worlds and we still don't even the next DLC, if that hasn't been announced, like that is like
It's failure.
catastrophic.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're at a tipping point right now where they need to capitalize on putting some news in our ear holes.
Like if we
you know?
do
Just a
not
little
get the
something,
next
something.
DLC after Worlds, it would legitimately be catastrophic.
Unless Hamza plays 372 card decks, then everything's fine.
Yeah.
The world is healed again.
Catastrophic. Okay. Okay. So yeah, shout out to the 8 SLTC members that are going to be at Worlds. Good luck to all of you. I hope you all do great. I am excited to be able to talk in the Discord again. It's been like we talk obviously, but it's been a lot more quiet, and we had that conversation before the podcast started. I think it's a mix of two things. There's not a lot of big events going on right now, but also with 8 people in a 28-person tournament, there's only so much that you can share. So I am excited to have 1,000-person tournaments back where we can talk about decks and not worry about having to team kill literally round 1, almost guaranteed. So, anything else? Anyone want to shout out anybody? Anyone want to say anything before we sign off? Shout out to my baby for sleeping through this whole thing. Like,
Yeah, baby.
It's
Shout
pretty
out
awesome.
Shout out to Josh ahead of time for having to edit a 2-hour segment.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
We'll double your pay.
Oh, perfect.
I'll triple it. Okay. If that's it, then thank you everyone for listening. We're back for Worlds. I don't know if this will be as regular as it used to be, just because obviously baby and there's not like if we get a DLC schedule, a full DLC schedule, we will 100% be back very soon to talk about like next steps and like what's going on. But if we don't get anything after Worlds, like it'll be actually, you know what? It's probably both. If we don't get Worlds, if we don't get anything out of Worlds, I think there's a conversation that needs to be had. So,
I think there's a good chance
If there's
you'll
nothing-
see another episode next week.
probably a
I
very
would
good
agree with
chance.
That one, probably.
Yeah. So
I think if we get nothing about the next schedule, I'm just gonna switch to Riftbound.
Yeah, Riftbound we
I'm
go.
a Riftbound gamer.
I mean, it's good timing. But please don't make us do that. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.